welcome to the Gangcast, aka the Games and Not Games podcast. I'm Janet Garcia, and joining me, as always, is Isaiah Smith.
Hello.
How are you doing? Good morrow to you, sir.
Doing good. Yeah. I don't think I posted about it or we posted about it online or anything. But last week was a little rough. We had some thieves and come through. Oh yeah,
it's not funny, but we're
it's
okay.
Not funny. Yeah,
nothing serious was taken in a sense. I don't know.
Yeah. My bike got stolen. We have like a little like kind of car park in the back of our little apartment complex, and it's a gated entry and everything like that. I guess somebody was just like, you know what, gate ain't enough to stop me. Yeah, it's not enough, and they managed to get back there. And the only thing that I think is actually missing from everyone's parking spot, storage unit, space, whatever, is just my bike. My bike is the only thing I think.
I stand by the fact that I think this thief is a coward because there was a kid's bike like 2 cars away, left unstolen.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Maybe I will say, like, I'm guessing an adult bike moves a lot more than a kid's bike.
Yeah, probably. If I had to get, and it was a nice bike.
At the same time, though, I'm like, how about it? Are you really? You know what I mean? I can't stand a half-ass crook. You know?
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
And yeah, I guess bikes, because you had, you know, your scooter there as well, and they didn't take it.
I also have my little.
Granted, the scooter is very heavy.
Sure.
So I do think that's kind of hard to steal.
Maybe it's dead, and so like
that's you'd have to really like. What is it, like 20 pounds or something?
Yeah, it's more than 20 pounds. It's like 30, 40
It's like pounds. You really gotta, and I feel like that's just asking to get caught, trying to take that thing out of there.
No, it's fair.
But yeah, it's I was very surprised for a number of reasons. Some of which I think I'll leave be in the interest of not attracting more thieves. But I just didn't. I don't know. It's one of those things where I think because we've been staying here for quite a while, this is like our maybe second year living in the apartment. I just feel like if that would have happened, it would have happened by now, kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, and there's not a proper. Yeah, there's just like not. I don't know. I just didn't think that it was gonna happen, so it was surprising.
So
and Isaiah was sad.
But yeah, so now we I upgraded the home security. We got some cameras and a smart doorbell, which I've wanted to get for a while, and really was more. Just didn't have a real excuse, and this kind of was a good excuse to, because our doorbell sucks, one, and then also it helps now, like, with where we are and how things are angled, it's like, okay, we can see everyone coming and going from the complex to some degree at least. So you know, it's an improvement, and we now have like a indoor camera, which we've been wanting to get for our cat Bruce, for like whenever we like travel and stuff like that. We can always check up on the cat. And that's already paying off in dividends. We always joke about like having a real world sort of
that we should be recording all the time.
Yeah,
which
camera system or something.
I know people's skin is crawling at that thought of like making everything into content. But we're like, okay, well, we're not actually gonna like. Yeah,
it's more that there's always so many funny moments that we just lose because you're not recording yourself 24/7.
Exactly. So now if something like, which we already had this, and this is more just for our own like, you know, shits and giggles pretty much for the most part. But today the whiteboard fell off of the wall, like it was command stripped on and it fell off. And I let off like the biggest like Wilhelm scream. And then we just like, I'm like, oh, can you grab the footage of that happening? Because that was wild. And then we grabbed that and we just like sent it to my brother. It's not like we're, you know, I'm sure maybe there's some things we would like post online if we felt like it. But for the most part, it was kind of nice to be able to be like, I can actually show you this happening in real time.
Yes. Or
also, I don't know, the other things that maybe something happens in the kitchen and we're in the other room and, you know, we can kind of see from there. So, yeah. So
fun stuff.
That made it a tough week for you.
Yeah. So we turned a negative into a positive, you know, as the grind set mentality will have you.
Exactly. You know, I said, you know, they didn't steal you back. We let them take it from us. So we said, how can we come back harder? You know,
give us an excuse to hustle harder. You
know? Now, okay, we have a reason to get our paper up for this thing. That sucked. So, I think if you've lived in a city, you know, throughout your life, chances are you've either had your bike stolen or know someone's had their bike stolen, or you operate in such a way where you try to become like unthieveable to the point where you almost can't even enjoy the bike. It just really sucks how much like bike thievery is like seemingly like one of the most common crimes, and also has some of like the most passionate thieves, because I'll see people with these wild bike locks, and even people that have it like through the tire and all that.
Yeah.
They're figuring it out.
Yeah. No, it is also how have we not had enough bikes? Like, you know what I mean? Like there's got to be the circulation of bikes in any major city has to be high enough.
Let me tell you about wealth distribution in America, Isaiah, because ain't no reason people are homeless on the streets without bicycles.
There's like the city bikes like down the street. Like, come on, man.
You gotta pay for those. You gotta pay for those. You know, they take them, they cut the parts apart and stuff. You know,
yeah, man.
There's a whole thing.
It was a nice bike too. It was like a giant road bike. It was good, man.
I'm sorry,
I missed that bike, but
you know what? Bike 2 is gonna be so much better. And I think, again, I'm not trying to say this is a good thing. You know, this is bad, but I think you know, at some point soonish, I want to get my bike once I, you know, learn to ride and do all that.
Yeah, man, be careful.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've always, again, I never really had like a bike as a kid in a way. Like I did, but like not really, you know. And we kept ours like, at a certain point we did move them inside the house because growing up, people would break into our garage, which was way, not to like, you know, was a Precious Olympics, but that was way worse because they damaged like the door to the garage, which is like hundreds of dollars to fix. They would damage like the entrance door of the garage potentially, which is also got changed the locks. It's so at a certain point, like I don't know, like nothing was safe in the garage for that. So we had to move the bikes inside.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. Which I'm like, I guess we'll do that because we just don't have like a nice spot to like secure. And even when you secure it, how secure is it really?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to, but we have a new potential space for them to live with our TV shifting. We did change the TVs up.
Yeah.
So tying the loop on that game segment from last week, talking about our TV setup, or no, the game setup, this TV setup for our gaming. We shifted that over. So I think that's the new space your bike 2 will live.
For bike junior.
Yeah. You know what? And I already like them more than the other bike. So F them, you know? All right, you ready to get into games?
Let's talk games.
Okay, we are doing a good old-fashioned what we've been playing, because we've been playing a lot of stuff and haven't really checked back in on specific games. So, Isaiah, do you want me to start, or do you want to kick it off with your Alan Wake 2, or do you want to hear something about South of Midnight?
I'll start with Alan Wake, just because it's also a little bit older. So, you know, I don't think I have any crazy hot takes for Alan Wake 2 that
you might
hasn't been talked about already.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, played Alan Wake 2. From what I gather, I fall into the camp of the people who really liked Saga's portion of the game and didn't really like Alan's portion of the game. I think the overall, the story of Alan Wake 2 is, I know you give me flack for this all the time, but I think the story is so confusing and hard to follow that at least like Saga's more straightforward gameplay was a good time. I was in there, I was shooting, I was dodging, a couple puzzles here and there, things you got to do, all that, good time. But then when Alan Wake's part comes on, it's like, oh man, what are we doing here? I gotta change timelines and find these new scenarios and then flip between the writing room and this, that, and that. It was too much. I didn't like it. I know the game itself, obviously, like, high production. I understand why people like it. But to me, of the, I guess, 2 Remedy games I played now with Control and then this, the Control is so much better than Alan Wake 2. Oh my gosh.
You don't really like
That's
Control
crazy.
like that. Which I think
I don't love Control. I really like
is an
Control.
indictment on Alan Wake 2 even more, where you're like, this is below Control? Because how would you say that you feel about Control?
I like Control. I don't love it. It's not a 4 on the Isaiah scale, but it's a solid 3. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What do you like about it?
I like the gameplay, the combat that you jump. I did once I adjusted the combat. The combat system is not good, but it is engaging and fun. And there are like a lot of knobs they give you with like the different gun variations you can do, and you get new abilities and this, that, and the third.
I'm really lawyering you on this because I know
there's a lot of stuff there.
Now, where were you on Tuesday at night? Can you read this? I'm going to show you a document. I want you to read the highlighted portion aloud, because I remember you saying that the guns the gunplay does not feel good in Control, is what you had said to me. Has your opinion shifted on that?
No, I still say it doesn't feel good, but it is engaging. It is stuff to do, which is more than what Alan Wake has. He has like next to nothing. He has literally almost next to nothing. He's got a flashlight. He a rent-a-cop. He is a rent-a-cop.
Are you looking to play the next Remedy game?
If it's Control, yes. If it's something new, probably not.
Okay.
And they also better bring those accessibility features. So they better have.
I think they're always
that needs to be a staple going forward.
I think they always have that.
Most developers.
Which can you talk about what stuff you were talking about using? Yeah. How did you play these games?
For these games, almost immediately I turn on you can't die, unlimited ammo, one hit kills, can't be interrupted. Like I don't like. I appreciate the systems existing. I don't like the way that they do their systems. And so the accessibility options give me a way to still engage with the systems in a way that is not just infuriating to me. Mm-hmm. It actually is enjoyable. Yeah. When I don't have to worry about finding these huff ass bullets in these random ass drawers. Yeah. The game can be a lot more fun when I can just shoot my way through all these ghosts, these shadow people.
It's funny because
mass and antlers.
I knew you played Control that way because I think I was there when you like changed the setting, or maybe I might have even mentioned to you like you can do this if you want or whatever, and you're like okay cool, and then that's what you did. And I think you did that partway through Control. I don't think you started.
I did like the first couple chapters, like legit.
Like the first boss, I think you did regular as well. The guy in the mailroom, which you know I know you're like the gunplay's not good or whatever. You flew through that boss compared to what it took me. I was fighting for my life and you were like boom boom pow. So I don't know. But for Alan Wake 2, I didn't realize that you did that. And also some of the enemies do go down easy depending on like the context. So it's funny because when I was first watching you play Alan Wake 2, like when I would look over, I'm like, oh, he's like really good at it. Like he's just like
he's headshotting
everybody. Like this is crazy. It's like okay, he actually just has one shot kill and whatever. And
I got the platinum, which is it was a fun platinum to get. I know you are like, why would you get the platinum if you didn't enjoy like 40% of the game?
Isaiah will take a game recommendation you have, say the game is ass the whole time, put it on I can play drunk with my eyes closed, and then platinum it and be like, I don't know. That's like some real sicko.
Platinum's a platinum.
That's some real sicko stuff. And then the thing, look, I ain't got no beef with anyone wanting to, you know, dial things down, tune things around, you know, but I do have a beef with you personally. I don't have a beef with accessibility. I have a beef with you. I just feel like, yes, it's personal. Because I feel like for you, knowing what I know about you as a player, when you do that in a game, it means that you really don't like the game. To me, that's my perception. I know you're saying, no, it's not. And I do enjoy, and I'm starting to like begrudgingly accept your distinction between finding it to be engaging and finding it to be well implemented. Because I think I get where you're coming from there, where you don't feel like the implementation is good. So you're like, why should I get good at your bad implementation? Which I get. But at that point, you can't also just not play the game. You don't have to. Why did you feel like you wanted to play this game that you clearly did? Well, Alan Wake 2. Yeah. Did you like that game?
Oh,
because you claim to like Control. I have to accept that because you're the one speaking.
It. What did I write down? I'm actually very curious what I put.
And for a reminder to listeners, the Isaiah scale is 1. 1 is didn't like it or disliked it.
Disliked it.
Can you go through the Isaiah scale again?
Yeah. So the Isaiah scale, it's 1 to 4 scale. 1 is I actively disliked something. 2 is indifferent. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. 3 is I liked it. And 4 is I loved it. So it's an asymmetrical scale. Okay. Leaning towards the positive. Looking at my notes, I really didn't like the Alan Wake part.
No.
I gave it a 1+.
Okay.
So I disliked it, but I think if you were to cut out Alan Wake's part, it would have been a really weak 3. Because I really did like Saga's part. Her story. Saga is a character.
Well, yeah, and if you take the coconut, taste out of the coconut water. I would like the coconut water also.
Yeah, I guess all right. Fair. Well, that's why the game got the 1+. That's why it's a dislike. I think it's a good game that I just happen to not like.
I forgot. I'm so salty at myself because I was about to back you into the corner and start going on the whether or not you liked it. But I guess okay. So that's what I was gonna ask. Why did you feel? I feel like you, and let me know if fill in the gaps here. I feel like you knew you didn't like it pretty early on. Why did you finish it? And I'm not better than you because I finished Rebirth. Like what compelled this to be a hate finish for you?
First, it was an easy platinum.
Okay.
It's basically beat the game while collecting these like random things every so often. I found a guy that told you where all the items are.
The thing
So I'm like, okay, great.
that I feel like you also remove some. I think you would have liked the game a little bit more if you did you like engage with the puzzle stuff at all? Because you just like looked at the answer.
Yeah, I did in the very beginning.
Okay.
Like I did, every type of puzzle myself.
You would enjoy that a little bit.
Not really. I did every type of puzzle myself just to like see what it is. There's you gotta use your flashlight to find the numbers in the environment. There's you gotta find the symbol, read the paper, see about this guy's perfect day, and then like trace his steps to find out, he got coffee and then he did laundry. It's like, cool, I go to the coffee maker, there's this triangle. You go to the laundry room, there's
at the coffee
an arrow
world
pointing down or something like that. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's like all throughout the game.
Yeah.
I did, all of those things I did.
Uh-huh.
I did them once, and I was like, this is like, it is the equivalent, which we'll get to, as of like the blueprints puzzle, where it's like, once you figure out how to do it, it's just then a chore because every one is the same formula, just trace different steps to get the same 3 icon combination.
Yeah, but can't you say everything is technically the same thing in a game inherently? Like when you kill one.
Not puzzles.
Clicker,
no, puzzles evolve.
Okay.
Puzzles
sure,
evolve with each other. They don't have to, and those are worst puzzle games.
But like, I mean, okay, that's fair. I guess as a puzzle czar, you're like, I don't want these little nasty ring-getting puzzles.
Yeah.
As a dummy, I'm like out here looking.
Again,
I was like, is that a 7 or a 4? Okay, this is a 4. Oh. But it's -2, so it's the day of their anniversary. It's on the Last of Us freaking safe puzzle. Okay, cool. So you just wanted the platinum.
So the primary driving factor was easy platinum, and I get to see what everyone experienced, at least with this game. Why it won so many awards. It was so many people's game of the year.
As I said, I heard you like this game, so I'm gonna play it, hate it the whole time, and make you watch. That's what he said. That's what he said to me. It was. I thought it was really out of pocket. I wasn't allowed to read during the time. Couldn't be on my phone. Just had to watch this.
I said, I heard you like this game. I want to learn more about you and your culture.
You're gross. No. For clarity, too, this was a game that I did, on a technical level, recommend to Isaiah. I did recommend it knowing that the odds of you liking it were kind of low, but I did think that it had intrigue there, and I thought that maybe you would have the will to leave if you didn't like it. But you know what? See it
through, my boy.
You got your platy, and you wanted your little platinum.
Hell yeah. And there were some cool moments.
I will say I did enjoy running into somebody at a social event. They're like, "Oh yeah, I loved Alan Wake 2. What'd you think?" And I said, yeah, go ahead, Isaiah. What did you think? Like, are you willing to?
What was this?
At Stella's man's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, like, are you willing to tell a fan that you think this game is trash? Which you were a bit more. You walked around, but you did eventually get to some of the meat of what you. I'm like, I've been hearing a lot about Isaiah's thoughts on Alan Wake 2. Let's see what he thinks. Yeah, Alan Wake 2. I do think the story is confusing. It's not like it's not confusing. I find it a little confusing. But my beef with you is that I felt like you started the game and you're like, I'm confused. And I'm like, no, you are not. Like, there's nothing happening in the story yet.
It starts with the most confused. A man crawls his way out of a swamp who you find out like immediately is like 13 years he's been missing and presumably at the bottom of this lake.
Okay, that's not
he
like
crawls
the first
out,
thing
he
that
finds
happens.
these deer people, they murder him, except he's not dead. That's like the first like 20, 30 minutes of the game.
No, it's not. It's what's his face comes out of the water, the guy with the heart.
You start with the game. Yeah, you start with that. And then you find out immediately after that he's not actually dead and he was there for 13 years and this, that, and the third.
The thing is, if like elements of the dark place and like finding, meaning behind it's a spiral and things like that, like I understand not walking away with like deep meanings on that or like having a good sense of exactly what this was or knowing like, okay, Mr. Door, who could he be? Who could he represent? I don't know, picking up on the freaking mythology element. I get that. I totally get that. But like, there'd be points where it'd be like, I don't know. So I was like, I have to investigate this. And you're like, this is too far. I'm like, Isaiah, I know you're not confused yet.
No.
Like, she'll be like, I have to go to the coffee shop. And you're like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, Isaiah, yes, you do.
No.
Yes,
I
you
could
do.
follow the through line of the story of what you have to do as a detective. That was always
I don't
clear.
know.
It was all the supernatural.
I felt
it's
like
the supernatural stuff that I just could not.
You
follow.
threw in the towel I think you threw in the towel earlier than you needed to, and that was my life frustration with that. Because I'm like, I do think you'll get lost at some things. I get it, but not yet. Like you getting lost. Like that was my perception of it. But there you go, Alan Wake 2.
Yeah. Alan Wake 2.
Your dirty, marred platinum trophy.
Yeah. Grand opening, grand.
Yeah, no, I think you are really sick for that. But that you're not alone. A lot of people do a lot worse to rack up those trophies. So you could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not too bad. I like to only get platinums on games that I like. I don't really want a platinum for a game I don't like.
That's why I have more platinums than you.
It is why you have more.
And that's why.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't like to exploit my workers. That's why I'm rich and you're not rich, because you aren't exploiting people. Yeah, different approaches. Any other Alan Wake 2 thoughts? Also, I also don't really like Alan Wake's section. I don't like playing as Alan Wake. I think he falls over like a piece of paper. Like he just has like no health. Like it's so easy to get caught in like corners. I found them like tough to like work through versus like sagas. I don't really have.
What I really want, I want Remedy to make a game of someone else's IP. I think that to me would be like the best of both worlds, where it's like, sure, take your weird art house, magic, fantasy, sci-fi, whatever, but apply that energy into someone else's like cohesive story. I will be there day one. I'll probably be a fan. Give me, yeah, that's what I want. I don't like the stories. They're too weird. They're not handholdy enough. You know how you say like, oh, this puzzle game dumb friendly? Yeah. Is this Remedy game dumb friendly? And so far, no.
Not really, but I don't find the need to totally understand everything in the game to enjoy it.
I don't need to look. I play Kojima games. I don't need to fully understand everything to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the other argument we got into. I was like, this is just what is it called? This is just Pacific Northwest Kojima. Like, I don't see what the problem is, Isaiah.
Kojima at least has a way of explaining things. Things get explained. It might not make sense, but they give you an explanation.
I do think things get like kind of explained.
I don't think they do.
Or like the main through lines of things, but like the deeper stuff is harder to, like, it's funny, like when I beat Control, I know we wanted to like get an explainer up on it, like the ending explained, and I said, I ain't doing that. No, I don't know what's going on in that game. I said, let me know when you publish it so I could read it, so I could know what happened in the game. But I mean, the general stuff, like, I don't know, I'm not bothered by. Like, why is she the director? I'm like, because she picked up the gun. Like, I don't know. That's like not like, you gotta be able to go for a ride. I feel like you don't want to go for a ride. I
am down to go for a ride. Again, I think in one camp you have Kojima, you have Severance, you have these stories and IPs that don't make sense, but they make sense in the way that they're telling it, and like you can follow through. You can accept what they're telling you as fact, and like that is enough to continue going. And then you have the stuff with Remedy where it's like, we're gonna just keep pushing you forward without telling you anything and force this mystery, but it's because we haven't told you anything, not because it's actually mysterious. And it's like, well, that's a different thing.
I don't really feel that way about it, though.
That's right. I'm sure that I understand it's totally just how
I think it is a little bit more obtuse than it needs to be, and I think there's ways that they could improve, adding maybe a little bit more of a, like, really making sure that like the base is stronger than it is of understanding like what happened in this game and like why did it happen, and leaving some of the other stuff to be if you want to be a nerd, where it's like, oh, if you want to really think of the like if you want to be a lore hound, I think it's cool to have lore hound stuff, but I do think they could use tools to strengthen a basic plot understanding that then, like, because to your point, Severance, the basic plot, and there's still some people that are like, I don't know what's going on, and it's like,
yeah,
everyone wants to hate on English class, but you really needed it to understand basic stuff. Like, what's fun about something like Severance, without getting into spoilers or making this the Severance cast, is it's very like It's like pretty simple to understand. Like it's just the plot is happening. And what's kind of nice is that they have these deeper layers of analysis that you can engage with that just sort of deepen what you already have. Things like the significance of blue and red in that show, or the significance of goat iconography and what that might hint at a character. Traditional media tropes like turtlenecks representing secrecy. And you can say, oh, does this mean that this character is this? Or does it not? You know, are they like fitting into this on purpose, or is it just like a detail that they have? Are things like red herrings on here? Oh, this person made this mistake. Were they really just drunk saying it wrong? Or are they, is this something, you know, there's more to dig into, but you don't have to dig into that to know what's going on. And I don't think that's true for Remedy games either, but I do think that the plot feels a little less, because it starts to diverge in different places. It can get a little slippery on what exactly is going on in a way. Yeah. So I do think they could improve on that a little bit. But yeah, I like all the mixed media stuff too, in those games. I think it's really fun and interesting. I know you don't like that stuff. So it's like, I'm like, you don't love Alice's photography? That was like some of the best stuff in the game. And you're like, who's Alice? I'm like, God damn it, Isaiah.
You couldn't pay me to watch those. I was not.
I was like, did you watch her tape? It was so
Absolutely
good. Yeah, so it's like, and it's tough because it's kind of the snake eating its own tail a little bit. I think some of your criticisms of Alan Wake 2 are very valid, but I also think that you don't like this kind of thing, so it's always going to be like you're ready to hate it in the way that I'm ready to hate Blueprints, which we'll get into Blueprints in a little bit after I talk about South of Midnight, where it's like you kind of start from like a place of, let me guess, you're going to be obtuse and up your own ass. So then when they do something that's a little bit like artsy fartsy, you're like, see, they're up their ass. And I'm like, are they? Wait, let's actually look and see, is this actually up its own ass? Or are you just, you see something artsy and you're assuming that this has to be here just to be artsy and that it can't, you know what I mean? I think, and that's not to say that that Alan Wake 2 and Remedy doesn't fall into head assery at times, but I think you're like, once I see it, I'm going to be like, boom, that's head ass. And it's not always. It's not always. And some of that stuff really works and makes sense and is more than just like, I want it to be weird. But also they do have some stuff where it's like, I kind of want it to be a little weird. And you like get icked out by some of that. And it's why you don't like certain, you know, media, storytelling, whatever. You're like, da-da-da. And for me, I like that stuff. Like I'm very drawn to it. Sometimes it's not done well, sometimes it is. I think Remedy does holistically do that stuff well, but they are definitely in an artsy fartsy area, which is why it's like, ooh, like that might be like the artsy fartsiest game you might be willing to like, would be like a Remedy game. Because yeah, they're weird, but like with Control versions, you also just like, you shooting around, you hanging out.
Yeah.
You read notes, but you don't read them. You're gonna fight bosses, like it's very, you know, whatever. And this was like that too, but in the survival horror realm, which I was also like, I don't know how you're gonna like, you know, you like Resident Evil and stuff, so and you loved Dead Space.
Love
so
Dead Space.
Again, I didn't think, oh, this is Dead Space, but you seem like you're someone that likes the flow of I fight guys, I get little upgrades, like this Alan Wake 2 has some of that in it. So yeah, I'll see you for the next Remedy project, maybe. I don't know. Control 2, I'm gonna be all up on it. I love Control.
I'll definitely be playing it.
I'll say one thing.
You might not like how I play it, but
do
I'll
not.
be playing it.
I'll be flying there, hanging out. Yeah, I love Control.
But after we leave the Pacific Northwest, we head on down south.
Does it take place in the south? Oh, this. I was like, is Control in the south? I don't remember. It's like some bureau. It's like New York or something. Head on down south to the deep south of the United States for South of Midnight. It's funny because you said you asked me, does South of Midnight mean anything in the game? And not really. Like, no? I don't think so. Not really. I mean, again, I did read somewhere that the game takes place in one day. And if that's true, I guess it's like before midnight. But it's not like in the game they're like, we got to do this before midnight. Like that doesn't happen. South of Midnight, this is Compulsion Games. Is that the name of the studio? Or is it something different? Yeah, Compulsion Games is newest project. Microsoft published. And it is an action-adventure game with, I'd say, exploratory platforming elements and arena combat. The game is good. And I really like it a lot.
Nice.
I like it more than it is
good
in some ways, but then in some ways kind of the same amount, because basically what's really good about this game is the packaged experience of what the game is. Booting it up, checking out the areas, getting the folklore. It's all based on Southern folklore, and having like getting into the story and seeing the little like folklore tales play out, and hearing the music, which so much of the OST for like these big marquee moments in the game are in that classic style of like storytelling. Like every genre has like some, you know, hip hop has their like storytelling raps. Banda music has like, or Mexican music has the corridos, or like the storytelling one, you know? So everyone has done, every genre basically does storytelling, you know, country music, big storytelling genre. So this is kind of in that vein where they have these like very on the nose, like I'm naming people, I'm saying what happened. You want a straightforward narrative, baby, South of Midnight got like,
all right.
you know what goes down, like, or they give it to you piecemeal and then they give it to you again in the song. On that note too, I think the thing I'm very impressed by, again, is the narrative, and not just like what the story is, and that the stories are interesting in that, you know, you learn about, basically the structure is you have like the overarching story, which is Hazel, the main character, loses her mother in the flood. Like flood hits their house, she gets taken away, and it's like, oh my God, Mom, where are you? I gotta find my mom. That's the game. That's what the game is about.
Cool.
That's the overarching story. In the middle, on each chapter, there are smaller stories that are basically you kind of learning about people from the past in the area. So what you basically end up doing is stepping into the role of the Weaver, which is like I guess you could say like a mythical, like you're kind of like a legend or whatever in a way, almost like any other hero story, right? Where there's like this key hero that does these things for like society, and the Weaver mends, what do they call them? Oh, stigmas is like the word they use for it, which is kind of like when pain gets too big, it forms into a stigma. It's a little bit like the famous corruption has hit town, but it's not quite as like corruption-y, so it doesn't feel as cliche as that. But technically, it's like there's stuff that's goopy and red, that's bad, that's kind of like a corruption. But it's not like the game is not positioned as we have to save our corrupt town. Like you're just trying to get to your mom, and as you're going through and going deeper into like the world, you're experiencing more mythological and mystical things. And like in doing that, you're like, oh my God, like I've picked up these things and I'm seeing these lines, and like you're suddenly engaging with a magic that maybe has always existed, but you hadn't been able to perceive. And in perceiving it, you're now like doing this like magical, helping people out. So the sub stories, you're kind of encountering them as seeing kind of like ghost projections. You know, it's like that. So many games do this, where you walk up to a thing, you interact with it, and they like play a scene for you between two ghost looking characters, and then it's like, oh, I guess that's Dave and Sally, and they have this business together, and you see like a 90-second to like 30-second little thing, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool, and you keep going. There's notes, of course. Sometimes the notes allude to that story. Sometimes they're about what's going on in town or whatever, and you'll see a couple of them per chapter, and then they culminate into some type of like ending, usually of, you know, you kind of like healing that element of the story. Sometimes it's like a platforming segment. Almost every chapter, if not every chapter, ends in like you running away from like this kind of fog, which I didn't like that aspect of it, just because it got so repetitive. It wasn't that like it didn't do the Crash Bandicoot thing of like the thrill of running, but you know, that's kind of the structure. And what's really fun about that is the stories are wild as hell and like super dark. Now, I haven't like fully looked into like, you know, unpacking, is the story in, I'm making up, chapter 2, is that just like a known myth where if you know the myth, it's not like as interesting? I'm not sure about that aspect of it. And I guess I could, maybe I'll try to Google that for my review just to like give a nod to it. But as someone that doesn't know the mythos of the Deep South, I found everything to be like really interesting and surprising and stuff. Yeah, but a lot of things are kind of like interpersonal beefs of like what happened between these two people. And a lot of the stories are like just messed up, but they're not messed up in a voyeuristic trauma way. Like, it's not like they have, oh, and then like this guy, you know, beat his wife or something, you know, like, and there's places for those stories too. But sometimes I think in games, they're like, okay, we need you to be sad. So like, and then this really sad thing happened. And it's very like heavy handed. There are things that definitely like touch on, I guess, traumatic aspects of life. It's not like there is violence in some of these stories. There's like betrayals. There's like familial beefs. There's, you know, loss through death. So it does tackle big things, but it never feels like shock value which I think is really cool. And I'm always interested in them. And I think just the narrative structure, the pacing of this game is almost perfect. I think they fumble it a little bit towards the end where you're like, you kind of feel like you're at the end of the game. And then you're like, wait, but I'm not at the end. And that I'm cool with because it makes sense why we're not at the end. But then it goes a little further and I'm like, I don't know how I liked how it ended. But I think just, I keep referencing it when I talk about it on shows and as I'm writing in my review, but we went to that GSC talk called Sex and Death, like finding narrative midpoints, achieving satisfying midpoints in narratives, which was a talk done by a name I've never pasted into the document. I keep referring to it. Amy Lee Shaw, who's a writer and narrative designer at Sweet Baby Inc. And I think South of Midnight is such a class act at finding good midpoints. Like the little stories have midpoints. There's also stuff happening with the larger story. Like as you're looking for your mom, you might meet some people that like they might know some stuff, or you have like this one character who's like kind of antagonistic, but like you're like, well, okay, they're kind of helping me, but like they're kind of shady. And I found myself constantly surprised by where the story went to a degree. Like I was trying to predict, I'm like, clearly this is going to happen because I've played a million games and read, a bunch of books and things, and this is how these stories go. And then it's like a little different, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, and I'm sure some people can predict some elements of the plot, but yeah, I really like that aspect of it. I love jumping around the environment. I'm a big fan of just like a nice jump, glide. You look around the corner. Ooh, there's a little thing that I can use to upgrade in my upgrade tree. The skills are nice. No 10% plus damage, BS.
Okay, so like the upgrades and things you get feel meaningful, like they affect the actual game, like they significantly affect gameplay kind of thing,
I want to say yes. My light hesitancy is I think the number one problem with this game is the combat, and because the cooldown is so aggressive on your moves, I do love the moves I get, and they do make me more powerful and thus make the combat more fun. But this is like, it's funny because you just talked about Alan Wake in this way. I do think it is a game where like maybe you do just want to play this on easy because idea totally there. The execution, not so much. It just doesn't feel as snappy as you want it to. The distance and you can't get good arena spacing, which feels really like overly aggressive. You have to be so strategic with your moves in a thing that's like, we're doing arena kind of beat 'em up-y combat. Why is the cooldown so like I want to know, like if I was consulting on this game, that's like I'd be writing that in all caps. Like I would change that thing immediately. Or make it adjustable even. I think that would have been great. To like allow it to have the same difficulty but like adjusted cooldown, because and there's some abilities that like help a little bit with cooldown but like not enough. So yes, the abilities are meaningful and cool in combat, but at the end of the day the combat just isn't that good. It does definitely just feel better as you get the abilities a little bit, but it's also the kind of combat where because the combat isn't good, you have to be really good to feel like it's a little fun, where it's like I gotta be on my P's and Q's because if I miss this,
I gotta wait another 15 seconds to
exactly. Where it's like, you can't really like and it's so frustrating because they have all their moves are such combo-y moves where it's like weave up an enemy, they take more damage. You can like lasso people towards you or push them away from you, so you can really see how it's like a push and a pull, and then these things. There's also like a more ranged attack, and like, bro, that range is short. Like I basically be walking up point blank shooting people because this range is like. It is more than the melee, but it's not that much more. Like I realized when I was fighting, I'm like, oh, this is a ranged attack. I should like be doing this further away. And then I was like, and then it missed, and I'm like, okay, well,
it's like a shotgun versus like a real rifle or something like that.
Yeah, like it just, I was very surprised by stuff like that. So that part is rough, and that is a significant part of the game.
Sure.
So, so I'm sure for some people that might grate a bit, but yeah, I really loved it a lot. Still in that, if we want to reduce things to a score, which I do on my website, and I like doing that. Yeah, I'm more in that like 7 out of 10, 3 out of 5 range, but I really, really liked it a lot, and I thought it was really cool. So if you like story, if you like exploring, if you like jumping around, like if you're a platformer fan, and light if you liked Kena. I do think Kena's combat was really good, even though it was too hard.
Yeah.
But
yes, that is a great way to put it. It's very good, but incredibly hard.
It was too hard, yeah. And then the easy mode was too easy, so then it's like you really got screwed. And then it was harder than normal, by the way. This would be clear, but yeah, that's where I landed with South of Midnight.
So from when I got into the flow of South of Midnight, like gameplay wise, kind of the adventure you go on sounds similar to the setup that Kana had, where it's like, oh, you're going from like kind of location to location, platforming along the way. Maybe there's like some light environmental puzzle kind of thing where just, oh, I got to push this thing to bridge this gap and then I can get across. And oh, if I go off the beaten trail, I can pick up this thing that's like extra points towards experience or something like that. Okay. And then every so often you're in this arena fighting along the way. Okay.
Yeah. It's very PS2 vibes of the design, which Kana is as well, which is not a bad thing. I like that design. Like if you're nostalgic for that kind of design, it has that. It even has a little guy. His name's Crouton.
Yeah,
it's basically like that's Clank. It's like Daxter. Yeah, and it's like I think Crouton's a lot awesome. I think the thing that's holding South of Midnight back from greatness is a lot of it has some elements that like what's great is really great. Like the story stuff, the music stuff, the vibes, the art, fantastic. But the other stuff is either like kind of mid or just passable. Where it's like even the stuff with Crouton, like the little like you get you like small like crouton, you go into like a little hole and you do something. The thing you do isn't that interesting. It's basically just avoid like getting hit and then you like click a thing at the end. So it's like stuff like that where it's like if this like you really gotta raise up some of these other elements if you really want to be great, because I'm very picky and particular about like what, because I'm like great is supposed to be like great, you know, and I'm like I think this game is good and it's really good and it's great at some things, but yeah, it's where I land on South of Midnight. But yeah, shout to that.
Cool. Do you recommend South of Midnight for me?
It's not on PlayStation, so you can't get that platinum yet. I don't think so. Like okay. It's not a like Isaiah stay away. Like there are games I play where I'm like, Isaiah, don't go play on this. You're gonna hate it. But I'd have this pretty low on the list. Like I would. This sounds so mean to the game, but this is like bottom of the for me recommending to you. It's like bottom of the barrel racks. Like I'm desperate fishing in there. I need to find something.
All
yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, and I think you saw it, so I feel like you know. Did you feel that way about like kind of like glancing over at my gameplay?
A little bit. I would say from me watching you play, and I made this comment to you while you were playing. A lot of what I'd see you do, I'd be like, oh, I thought you just did this like 10 minutes ago, and you're like, I did something very much like this like 10 minutes
It's
ago.
A very repetitive gameplay game.
I fear that something like that could harp on me. But I've also played other games where the formula is like just this, essentially the same stuff over and over again. You know? And it's like, oh, I enjoyed my time still with that. I don't think I would walk away from this, again, just only based off what I saw you play. I don't think I'd walk away from South of Midnight like, oh man, you're crazy. This game is great. It's amazing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would walk away like, I should have quit. I don't know why I don't think you'd be mad. It, you know what I mean?
And I think it's a game that very much like if you play the first and I think it's on Game Pass, so it's like if you have Game Pass, you can check it out there or whatever. But what you like first get, like that's the game. Like when I previewed this game as well. Again, so still working on my review, but I have my preview, and my preview is pretty much how I feel in my review. The review is obviously going to be longer and more like detailed and but everything I ain't trying to brag that, they give a good slice of the game to show what the game was. And like everything I felt and thought true for that main game. So, you could really just play a chapter and you would know like, yes, or like, is this it? It's like, if you feel like this is it, and you just throw it away. But if you're like, yeah, no, that was cool. It's great. You have like 13 more chapters that are also going to be like varying degrees of like, that was cool. I like that. All right. Let's talk about this biggie, even though we're going to come back to this, I think, other times.
Yeah.
Blueprints. Isaiah, you are the quintessential puzzle person in this industry.
In
the industry. You're right up there with Geo from Digital Trends. and all the other puzzle sickles. No, but you're a big puzzle boy. You finally played Blueprints.
Yeah.
Hot in the streets. Everyone's
lifting this.
You lift me up higher than a mountain. What do you think about it? And what is it also?
So Blueprints is not to be confused with Blueprints. It is like a blue, like royalty prints. It is a puzzle game, a Metroidvania, as some people.
So you're pro Metroidvania.
I'm definitely pro Metroidvania.
Oh my gosh.
But it's a like.
I'm still deciding. Just so you know, I'm not gonna say no, but
it is a puzzle game that is gated more by knowledge, but also it's got some rogue elements, like roguelite elements. So like what it is you walk into, you have this giant mansion, and each room you go into, anytime you open a door to a new room, you are essentially drawing a hand of rooms that it could be and then placing down what room you want it to be. And the whole idea is that there's 45 rooms, but a secret 46th room that you're trying to find. And that is kind of the like premise of the game. So it is, but it sort of like as you go from room to room, the rogue element kind of shows its head with like, oh, well, this run you might draw the kitchen and then the living room and then a nursery and then a bathroom. Whereas another run, you get the garage, gymnasium, chapel, porta potty. I don't know. Like, you know, it could be whatever. Who knows?
That last one's not in the game.
Yeah.
Or is it? We haven't finished it. Maybe it is in there.
So like, you know, no two runs of your house building or mansion building is probably going to be the same. But there are things in rooms that help you in other rooms, or, you know, give you some like permanent buffs as you like redo these rooms each day after day. And there's like, I guess, you know, without going into too many spoilers or anything like that, it's like, oh, there's like something else going on. There's like a, you know, kind of like the Witness, an Animal Well, any of these other, you know, Tunic. There's like this whole notion of like, as you play and you discover these rooms, you as the player will gain knowledge that will help you in your further, like, you know, get further and do more in your later runs. And so yeah, it's a bit of a mashup between for the brainies of the Metroidvania puzzle people, and then the one more run roguelite kind of people who are maybe just more trying to like on the surface complete the objective.
For people that want to look at stuff and read.
Yeah,
it's not bad. I just want to be dumb.
So yeah, people have been hyping it up to heaven and back, and like it's like this, you know, the next great thing since Balatro and everything like that, which was just last year. So to say the next greatest thing since Balatro,
sometimes you get great things, like, you know, LeBron and Luka are on the same team. No, you know,
I don't know. Fair enough. So yeah, I think the game so far, I think is good, maybe even great. I'm definitely not seeing this like earth-shattering like game of the year kind of. Is it in the conversations for game of the year from what I played so far? Sure, but it's also only May, April. Yeah. So like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if this is in like top 10 considerations and stuff like that by the end of the year. But I would be surprised if it's like top 3 game of the year contender kind of conversations, just from what I played so far. It seems like a very fine, it seems more rogue than puzzle, to be honest with you. Like there are puzzle elements for sure, and like even like outright puzzles that you come across, like you know, there's the whole like 2 truths and a lie almost kind of scenario. There's some like mathy puzzles that you come across. There's some you gotta flip these switches a certain way to do stuff kind of thing. Like there are definitely puzzly elements to it, but so far all I'm getting is more like rogue-like elements. Like if you like Dead Cells or something like that, or Spelunky. I think Spelunky is a much better comparison to this than like an Animal Well or something like that. So I don't know, but what do you think? Am I wrong in that? Like how do you feel in comparison?
It's also, I feel like recording this is a little cursed, because I do wonder if like,
yeah, next week we could come by after playing more and we're like, everything we said is wrong.
I also think though part of, you know, the job, the role is like, what is it now? It's like I can't just be like, oh, I'm afraid like that, you know. Again, if I look around at people that are further into the game, it seems like there's more to this than what I've seen. I mean, that's got to be factual in the sense that we haven't played as many hours, you know, kind of thing. So maybe it gets more puzzly as you go. But yeah, like I actually don't think it is that much of a puzzle game at this point. We are about, I'd say 6, maybe a little bit more hours in. I'm enjoying the game. The time has gone by very fast in playing it. We streamed it together on my channel. We played it after that. And, you know, I've been enjoying my time. And, you know, I had work yesterday where I was out all day. But if I wasn't, I would have been here playing some Blueprints, hanging out. Yeah, but there's not, like you said, there's not that many. Like all the puzzles I've solved, there's like 3 puzzles I've solved in those 6+ hours. That's not that puzzly. Like,
no.
Now I have had to like write down information. Like there's, I'll make it up because I don't, just for sake of not spoiling it. And actually, I haven't even opened the safe yet, so who knows when I can open the safe. There's like a safe you can open. It's like, okay, I'm guessing that you just punch in the number. Maybe even that's going to be, you have to, you break the wall behind the safe. I don't know. Maybe that will be a funkier thing, but you just, it's like, okay, maybe I'd write down the code for that and then open it. And maybe on one run, I find the code and then whatever. Or maybe the code changes everyone, and there are those questions that you ask yourself of like certain information that you gain. Oh, does this carry over now? Let me try. Maybe I can kind of, you found that in the way we're playing right now. At first we were on one file, but now we've gone to like our own files. And which is why I'm like, you can only play what I'm playing now because, Isaiah will do something in his run. And if it's new to me, I'll like look over and gain that information, which I know some of you would really like doing that. Some of you say, no, I want to do it all myself. Good news, you can do whatever you want. Yeah. So, but I've really enjoyed doing that. I think
we have like a shared notebook.
Yeah, for me, it helps offset the rogue elements of the game, which I know that's kind of like working around what some people might really like about the game. But I don't need. For me, it's not more fun if I don't get more fun out of the idea of it might have taken me 3 more hours to find the kitchen. Than if I looked over when you had the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't find one of those significantly more satisfying than the other. Like, I don't need the thrill of doing it myself. And I'm still also doing my own things myself, and I'll find some stuff that you don't know, and sometimes I'll tell you, and then we kind of can work together in that way while also still working separately and doing our own thing. But it feels much more like an exploration game. Is this game dumb friendly at this moment? Yes. But I have concerns. I did have to do one puzzle where I needed you to help me, and I was very sad about that because I couldn't do it myself. It was like a flip switch kind of thing. And we did one puzzle together where I'm like, I don't know if I would have done that like on my own. Like it just seems like I wasn't gonna figure it out. We barely figured it out together. So those things give me pause. But yeah, like, and I feel the same way as you. I'm enjoying it. I do think it's a very fresh idea. Like I've never seen anything like that before. I think it's at least in the video game space. Again, a lot of people compare it to Betrayal of House on the Hill, which it is kind of like that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. I also think, and I've asterisked everything we say because we're not. It's not like we've beat the game even. So maybe this will change. But in my current opinion, right now, I think people overhyped the. Get ready to break open a whole new moleskin and start charting the star. Like, I do not feel that way about the game. I'm definitely writing some stuff down. I mean, you're the bigger writer than I am with note taking. I've mostly done like a couple notes here and there and done some screenshots. And you've also taken like, more notes already for us to like use as a collective. But I think that unnecessarily intimidated me to the game. And it also negatively impacted my experience of first picking up the game, of feeling like, okay, well, I enter a room. We'll pretend it's this studio, right? Okay, well, everyone said I have to write down everything, and that and that when they wrote down something in the first 10 minutes, and 10 hours later they said they needed it. So I'm gonna write down that there's like one controller, that there's one cereal box, there's an iPad, that the iPad's great. It's like, and maybe at one point they will ask like, what's the color of the iPad? I don't know, but I think going into the game and being like, oh my God, I think just go and play it like any other regular game, and you will find that it's actually just a regular game. Now, there's probably more to it. I'm not trying to discount the depth, but I don't think you need to psych yourself out about it in that way.
Yeah. I say go in with it is a rogue game that happens to have puzzles, not it is a puzzle rogue game.
Yeah, and I think the game, it seems like the game will kind of tell you what you will need to have written down in a way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good example of that, or a vague like comparison. I don't know. It'd be something like a simple one. Again, like passcode stuff is like simple examples. Like, oh, I saw like Isaiah's iPhone at one run, and then later I found like the iPhone code. Oh, there's stuff I can do on his iPhone that can maybe like open up more things for me or aid me. There's like things like that. And I'm sure there are, again, other more complex things that might appear, but that is the extent of like, I'm going to write down his code so that I know it. Or like, we've been writing down names of people a lot. Like, oh, maybe this will be relevant. Maybe we'll need to know the name of the maid or something. Yeah. But we're not going in and like writing down how many pieces of tile are on the ceiling. Because I think if the game wants me to know that, they'll say, look to the ceiling sky. You know, they'll like write something down.
Someone or some hint to that is the basically one of the puzzles we did come across. We spent such a long time looking at everything else around the puzzle when the puzzle was itself very isolated to just the puzzle. And I think that has flipped my brain for like the kind of game this is. Like it is not so far, again, asterisk aside, I'm not going to keep saying it.
Yeah.
But like it is not that deep of a puzzle game. It is a on the surface puzzle game.
Yeah.
And it maybe gets deeper later, but
you don't need to be starting out deep. Yeah,
don't start out deep. Start shallow. Start super shallow.
Yeah, like it's not that deep right now. Again, it's kind of like a pool. It's like diving into the shallow end. You're gonna break your neck on that, and like you know,
you need to just wade.
And I think that was a little bit of my problem. Like I felt very like, okay, well, like what am I supposed to be doing? Like I don't understand. It's just like you just play it. Like it's really just a regular game. Again, there's probably more. Same with Tunic. Tunic is a regular game that has depth to it. And to that note, I think that's a good thing. I don't think I mean, everyone makes games differently. There's different games for different people. You know, there's nothing wrong with like making a Lorelei. And even Lorelei, it builds on its like depth. Like it's not as, you know, it gets more complicated as you go. This is a good thing, I think, for a game like Blueprints, because it is fun on its face, and it's nice that there's more later, and that can be kind of almost optional. Again, my colleagues on Indie Council, I think Jenny was the one who said she doesn't think you have to write down any notes for just finishing it.
Yeah, probably not.
And I think that's probably true. I mean, especially if you're screenshotting some things.
It's also the rogue element to it.
Yeah.
Which is one of the biggest cons to the game, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a con yet, but I do think it's gonna like squeeze a little more time out of me than maybe it needs to. But you know, I'm enjoying it okay as a rogue hater. I'm a puzzle hater and a rogue hater, so this had a lot going against it.
When you combine them, you're having a good time.
That's the recipe. You take two things you hate and they cancel each other out. Yeah, but that's my thing. I think if you're interested and you're like, again, I don't know if you'll be able to finish it. I'm hoping to finish it soonish so I can say, hey, I'm dumb and I beat this game. And then I can hold up the dumb flag for all my dumbs out there. But at this point, I think if you're dumb and you're interested in it and you don't mind the potential L of not being able to finish it, because I have not finished it, so I don't know how hard it is to finish it, you can play it. Like I think you could be really dumb and still play it, because you can even also just skip the puzzle. You don't need to solve those puzzles. Now, like in our experience, again, fairly early on, you get like items in those like a key. Like, oh, you can open a locked door, you know, something like that. Like you get a key to open a locked door. It's like, that's great, because sometimes the doors are locked. You know, again, maybe at one point they're going to put some wild stuff in the solution or something, but that's all it's been so far. And you can get around that by like, you know, like any other rogue game, you can find items, you can purchase items. Like it has a lot of those same trappings. I also think this is like a pet peeve of mine I mean, you're kind of in this industry now with doing this podcast, but I kind of hate when people oversell the like go into it knowing nothing. Like in my opinion, you know, and you know, different people for different things. If you like are excited for Blueprints, don't want to know anything, and you skip this section of the podcast, I'm not offended by that.
Yeah.
But I think, especially with my job being to like tell people like about games, what they are and what I think, it is not ruining the game to say that this is like a game where you put down room tile. You know, like I don't think you need. I think people also overhype the like, it's best if you don't even know what game you bought. It's like, I don't think you can kind of know. You can know that it's like a rogue puzzle game, and like, and I feel that way about other games that have like mystery elements to it, especially when the mystery it's revealed in 10 seconds. Like, you know what this game is. 10 seconds into it, you don't know all what the game can become. And that's really fun. And I think there is mystery there, and there's things that we're not. You know, there's like things I encounter that I'm purposely not going to share because it's like hours into my run. I don't want to ruin it for people, but. The fact that there was a kitchen, like that's not gonna. That's a very you get that like almost every roll, like, you know, kind of thing, and yeah, I think sometimes people, again, it adds to the unnecessary fear of games like this, where they're like, oh, it's so wild, I can't even tell you what it is. You're not even don't look it up. Just buy. It's like, okay, ain't that serious. It is a tile placing rogue game that has some puzzles, and it'll get deeper later, allegedly. That's all that it is. But yeah, I'm having a good time with it. I'm excited to keep playing.
I look forward to the next time we play more.
I know. I'm bummed that we can't. I don't think we can
and-
play today because we're going to be out till late at the Galaxy game.
But yeah, I found another game which I won't get into too much. I started playing Dredge while you were away because we're playing Blueprints together.
Yeah, I said, are you okay with not playing Blueprints? And with a tear in your eye, you nodded.
And to be honest, I am enjoying the mystery puzzly elements of Dredge, which is again very light in puzzles, but somehow still deeper than Blueprints so far. I'm enjoying what Dredge is offering. Like that is scratching the itch that I thought Blueprints was gonna scratch for me, without being a like primary puzzle game. You know what I mean? So I'm happy. Whenever we get to Blueprints, great.
Also, 2 games that you're enjoying. This is
this is like
the dub category.
Yeah,
this
is.
I almost am like, damn, why do you find them at the same time? Like, I don't know. Fuck. I guess like the last thing I'll say on Blueprints is I'm cautiously optimistic that I could become a Blueprint sicko because the time really is going by fast when I play that game, and I feel very, very engrossed playing it. Like it feels like it really does demand my attention in a way that I really like. Where even if it's something that like I've already done, you know, I'm rerunning stuff and just seeing what I can get. Like I don't know, it's like a good it's not a game where I'm like, I can definitely put down the controller and check my phone. Like nothing at this point in the game. I don't know if there's an enemy's gonna come out and kill you. I do kind of get like murder vibes from them. I'm like, is someone gonna kill me in this game? What's going on? Like it's got an ominous aura. It's a game I definitely could put
torture room you put
down. The torture room when you put down the torture room or whatever. But it's a game that I can easily put down a controller and check my phone and nothing's gonna attack me. But I never leave the game when I'm playing. I feel very like engrossed in it. So far actually like I think it seems really approachable to me at this point.
I'd agree.
So hopefully that stays true because I think approachable to end, wild to go down is like a great spot for a game like this to be, and I hope that it really is that because it is that so far. Yeah,
I agree.
And that brings us to our not game section where we are, oddly enough, going to play kind of a game in a way. Yeah. It's a bit of a little, we're going to do a blind ranking of some different categories. Isaiah, you were the one that suggested this idea. So can you give us a little bit more context into what we're going to be doing here?
Yeah. So we have 4 different categories, 2 for me, 2 for you. What we're going to be doing is for each category, we have 10 items. And we're going to randomly be given an item that we then need to rank. So I'm going to give you an item for category. You have to rank it somewhere 1 through 10. And then you get the next item and you have to rank that somewhere 1 through 10 of the available spots until we have your 10 in order blindly ranked. So
the thought is, you know, this is not one of the topics we're doing, but it could be like worst experiences to have on Earth. And you give me like dentist. And I might say, that's awful. I'm going to put that at 10. Yeah. But then afterwards you give me dying. And I'm damn, like, that's worse than going to the dentist. But I already put the number 10 spot as a dentist.
Yes.
So it's a bit of like the fun of, oh no, like what if I get something way better or way worse? And I didn't know I was saving the spot. But then, you know, and this is kind of like a trend that I think I've largely seen on TikTok. But it's fun. So we're going to do that today with some not games topics.
Yeah. So I'll kick it off. The category is going to be places.
Okay.
So we're going to give you 10 places. And these are just to kind of level the playing field across the items. Let's say that like you have to spend like 1 to 3 hours at this place.
Okay.
Right. Just to again, set a bar. Yeah. And these are they're coming from me randomly.
Okay.
Number 1, a car show.
A car show.
Yeah.
I like car shows. But here's the question that I have in my mind too is what kind of places is dentist in there? You know, I don't know.
Who knows?
A car show is pretty good. I'm going to put that at 5. It feels like a very, you know, on one hand, 3 hours, a little much. You know, how much I like cars fine. It's fun to get in them and take pictures of them and stuff. But also, you know, it's a car show. They're probably going to have like a tasty treat that I can get in there or something. Some stuff to see. That's not a bad way to spend some time. Get some steps in. A lot of them are outdoors. I like a car show. I'm putting that at 5. It seems enjoyable. I'm scared though. What's next?
Sounds good. Number 2, we got Olive Garden.
Oh, fuck. I don't like Olive Garden. Fucking hate Olive Garden. Okay. I know haters are gonna be in the comments saying you don't like the unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks or whatever the crap the deal is.
Breadsticks are really good.
They're not that good. I don't like Olive Garden, but I mean, is Olive Garden the worst place it can be in the world? No, but like I don't want to be there. I've eaten food though from Olive Garden. I'm not above Olive Garden. I think we were sick once and we DoorDashed like some pasta from there or something.
I get the zuppa toscana soup from there whenever I'm sick. It's real good.
I'm going to say this is an 8.
Wow. Okay.
It's like, I don't think it's very good, but there's definitely worse places than Olive Garden.
All right. Olive Garden at 8 is... All right. Cool. Number 3, Mall of America.
The Mall of America. You know, I love my malls. Oh my God. I love the Mall of America. But you got to think there's got to be something better than the Mall of America. I'm going to put that at 2. I'm going to save my 1. Actually, 2's too high, probably. I think there's places that are more fun than the Mall of America. I just enjoy the Mall. And also, the Mall of America isn't as fun if you're not going to shop, in a sense, you know? It's like, okay, well, am I really, like, buying anything there? Maybe not 2. You can do some, you know, you can ride those rides, though. That's pretty fun. And it's like, in my mind, I'd be spending some money there. So I'm going to say, I'm going to put it at 3. Because it's pretty fun. But... again, unless I'm balling out, it's kind of like not as fun as it could be. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at 3.
All right, we have, and for the 4th item, an airport gift shop.
An airport gift shop. That's not very fun. That sucks. Is it worse than Olive Garden?
Is it worse than Olive Garden?
At least I'm eating at the Olive Garden. So I'm gonna say airport gift shop 9. It's pretty dry in there. And now I will say, in defense of the airport gift shop, also I'm spending 3 hours at the airport gift shop.
I said 1 to 3, you know, depending on.
Oh damn,
you know.
That's awful. I feel like there's got to be worse though than the airport gift shop. Because here's the thing: in defense of the airport gift shop, when I'm at the airport, I'm going into the airport gift shop because it's like I got to kill some time, got to do something. You know, I don't mind walking around, but like that's a lot of hours at the airport gift shop. So I'm gonna put it 9. I feel like we can go worse. So. But isn't that always a feeling in these rankings, though? And then you get to the end and realize I should have done things differently. Go ahead.
Number 5. This one might get you. Achiva's training session.
Achiva's training session. That's interesting because I hate the team, but I love soccer. Do I have to wear like the jerseys or anything like that?
No, but you do have to like be there. Like imagine the Palm Springs thing,
like,
except it's only Chivas, like they're training against each other.
Okay. I don't think that's that bad because it's just they're just training.
Yeah, just training.
Are they? So it's just the team there.
Correct.
That's actually not that bad in the sense that if they were playing against another team, it's like then I got to hear all the Chivas fans root for the thing. But also, I've been at the Galaxy Chivas game was all Chivas fans rooting for the Chivas team. So that's not even that bad of an experience. That's not bad at all. Definitely above Olive Garden for sure for me.
Oh, okay.
Again, it's kind of weird. I'm in enemy territory, but like it's still soccer, and like I could see a world where if I had a friend that was like a Chivas fan and they had like an extra ticket, I'd be like, I mean, it is still soccer, like you know what I mean, like so that's, and you know, I don't know why I'd be. Well, I am probably friends with some Chivas fans, unfortunately, because they're everywhere. They're a plague on the society. Yeah, I'm definitely putting that above Olive Garden. But I think I'm putting it below a car show. Like if I could go to a car show or a Chivas training thing, I'd go to the car show instead. I'm putting it 1 above Olive Garden.
Number
Chivas
7.
training session. Yeah, it's like, you know what? It's kind of a like make it whack kind of situation where it's like I like soccer, but it's like, yeah, but it's Chivas. It's like that's kind of whack now. But like, you know, we're watching soccer.
Yeah.
How toxic can you be also when it's only your team?
That's true.
And also, you're not going to be like, I mean, maybe you'll like cheer for like certain players coming out to sign stuff or something, but you're not going to be like, hooting and it's not the same kind of vibe because it's just them training, so it's not too bad. Say 7.
Next up, Disney World.
Disney World, that's pretty high. It feels like that might be the one, you know, but do I want to use my 1 spot for this? I'm going to because Disney World's pretty good, and what are we saving for it if not a Disney World kind of thing? Disney World's really fun. It's kind of, you know, it's got some good rides. The rides aren't as good as an amusement park, but they're also not scary in the way an amusement. Like I'm never scared lined up for a Disney ride. Even like the terror drop thing they have, which is pretty scary. It's like, that's not that bad, actually. While
it's exciting, scary.
Well, yeah, when I go to Six Flags, I do love those rides too, but I'm kind of horrified in that line. I'm sweating, I'm stressing. Yeah. I kind of almost want it to be just over, but I do want to ride the ride, so it's a lot of inner turmoil there. Disney World, just fun. You're eating, you got your stupid ears on, people are hanging out. Yeah, that's my number one.
All right, number one, Disney World. Next up, we have White People Church.
White People Church. Oh, man. That's kind of, I think I went to White People Church. I mean, it was like probably mostly Mexicans there, but I mean, can you tell me more about White People Church?
Just
to make sure I know how to envision.
Think like, you know,
is it really long? Like
the
those
mega
really long
church.
masses?
Not necessarily. I would actually argue that White People Church is generally more on the shorter side.
Okay. It's like an hour. A hard 60 kind of vibe.
I think, yeah, maybe even like a clean 40, but for the minimum here, we have 6. They got some extra service, so they bump it
I know.
to 60.
I wish I could put the gift shop below White People Church, because just an hour in a gift shop is just too long. I'm putting White People Church at 10 because I definitely don't want to be. I would rather go to the cheapest train station than the White People Church. But you know what? Maybe I'll catch a vibe and the sermon's really good that day, and I'm like, you know what? This isn't too bad.
Do you remember the Clear Eye commercials?
Like, look with your special eyes?
The monotonous, the really monotone voice. Clear Eye comes in and it clears.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I picture White People Church. Is just the pastor, whoever's giving the word, is just
dry.
It's just dry.
I gotta be honest, I think the church I went to as a kid wasn't that exciting. I don't know if you went there, I wonder if you'd say you went to White People Church.
Probably.
He wasn't monotone, because I think his name was Jerry, maybe. It started with a J. I think it was Father Jerry or whatever. And it's funny because he ended up moving to Vegas, and we're like, oh, he went to the city of sin. Like, he went to the source, you know,
That's so
to
funny.
Like take care of sin. But I thought he was actually pretty cool. I mean, he wasn't like overly trying to be hip or anything, but I thought, like, you know, he was up there reading and contextualizing in a way that was solid. Like, I wasn't mad at what Father Jerry had going on. So I'm gonna just put a White People Church though at 10, because I'm not excited about the cheap ass train station, but it's like, yeah, and the Olive Garden I get to eat still. The car is definitely not as good as the car show. So yeah, 10.
All right. Next up, again, random order. Black People Church.
Black People Church. Definitely better than White People Church, you know. I'm not just saying that because Isaiah's here and he's not white. But I will say it's still church, so definitely if I could have, I probably would have put the Olive Garden above the church and stuff, but we can't. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I guess I'll put that below car show. I know Black People Church is known for being, you know, more on the music end of things.
Lively, live bands.
More musical, and I do like music, and I think as much as people that don't like religion maybe are like, well, I don't like religion, but I like music. Like, a lot of music is actually sourced in like the OG music. Like, music started pretty much. I mean, I'm sure like there were like cave people like hitting on sticks or something like that. But a lot of like the core back in the day music is thanks to the church. So I think you know you gotta give a little tip of the hat to what the church was putting out.
So you got 2 and you got 4 left.
Yeah,
so the 2 slots you got left. Next up, a child's music recital.
I was like, another church? I was like, we're putting that at 4. I mean, obviously, if I could go back, probably would change this up a little bit. But the child's music recital, here's the thing. Obviously, a lot of times these kids aren't very good. So that kind of sucks.
No, they're not.
But sometimes they are. Some of them are kind of good. So it's like, there's that. And then 2, it's cute because they're trying, because they're kids, you know? It's like, oh, okay. And I think, too, a recital, typically you have many kids going up and doing it. Also, typically, it depends on the context. It's rare to have a music recital where the kids aren't working on music a little bit. So actually, I'm going to dial back and say, usually those children will be some degree of like good in a way. Like, they've been practicing for the recital. Now, I'm sure if you have like, I don't know, it depends on how big the group is, right? Like, if it's like a more public school oriented music recital, those kids might not be as passionate about music. It's like, we have the, you know, like, you ever see those clips of like, this is the 7th grade band and it sounds awful because it's hard for them to sync up too. So it kind of depends on that context. There definitely can be some duds in the child's music recital. But if this is like I remember, you know, my brother Edwin used to teach piano and his kids had recitals as well. And, you know, it's all the kids from like, because he also taught at a school, like a music school, and did private lessons. And the music school recital, I'm sure, was like largely fine because it's like, oh, those student, you know, Edwin's student went up and did his song that they're practicing. And yeah, sure, did the kids sometimes maybe make some mistakes or whatever. Yeah, but it's not, and also they're kids, so it's going to be small. The kid is going to be doing like, I mean, some kids will do larger pieces, but they're not going to be playing for like an hour. It's probably like the longest piece might be a couple pages, a few minutes or whatever. And then also a kid taking on a more ambitious, longer song, they're probably also a generally more talented, skilled child.
Sure.
So yeah, that's not bad at all.
I'm hearing a lot of you justifying why this is high up.
I'm just trying to speak to what I think it offers.
Okay.
I would definitely put, again, car show probably high,
Hey,
I'd probably put,
this is the rank you made.
We'd be ranking it differently, but I think all things considered it's not a horrible 4,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not signing up though to go if I can, kind of thing.
And then that leaves then just the number 2 slot, your favorite, the dentist office.
Fuck, I knew the dentist would be in there. That sucks. Boo. Boo.
It's Disney and then the dentist is how you order
Above
things.
the Mall of America really sucks. The only nod I can really give
Which
to the
might have
dentist.
a dentist in it for all we know.
The only thing I can give a nod to the dentist is that it's nice if you have a good clean teeth feeling, or you knocked out something you've been putting off. That's the only plus I can put in the dentist category. Hate the dentist. It's one of my least favorite places. But you know what? That's why I'm glad I put that. Imagine if I was saving one for what?
Imagine
the
if you were
dentist?
saving one, yeah.
It could have been worse. Honestly, all things considered, not a horrible ranking on my part. The
Not a
dentist is the big
horrible
L
ranking.
here. This is the big eyesore of like, you really
Yeah.
can't spin the dentist in any
Yeah.
way. The dentist is not good.
Like if you could only move one thing.
Yeah, that would be
Dentist-
definitely the one I'm
dentist
moving.
definitely the
Yeah,
one.
we drop that real low. Yeah,
Hey, solid.
yeah. That's how.
Pretty good list.
That's how it went. Whew, man, what a thrill. Okay, next up we have things you can do for fun, and I have to check because I have mine color coordinated. Okay, so we're kind of. Do we have that? I thought we had. Didn't I flip this order and I forgot to maybe move it? Maybe it got removed. I think we were gonna separate the things with like. I guess let's do albums next.
Okay.
Potentially, if that's cool with you.
Sure.
So I'll end up going back to back. I thought I had flipped this already, but I guess not. So let me do that now. Just because there might be some overlap on.
Sure.
We don't know. We made our stuff in private, so we'll do albums first. Okay, so the albums are going to be blue. I have a hat here.
Yeah.
You can hear the
I was digital. You went
on the mic. Yeah, I went
arts and crafts.
I went regular. I have to reach. I keep having to reach out. Okay, blue. Albums are blue, so you're going to pull blue pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But please read it aloud to the people.
All right. First up.
First thing you have to place.
I got place 1 through 10. Ooh, Gemini Rights by Steve Lacy. That is a pretty good album.
And would you like me to place these for you?
Yeah, if you can, that'd be great.
Yes.
Man, good album. I listen to it all the time. It's like in my top for every year, I think, since it came out. It's pretty good.
How much of it is that it's 30 minutes long and you use it to
It's
time
also
yourself?
only 30 minutes. It's a short, quick album. It's a great pacer album. I'm gonna go. Man, I'm gonna go number 4. I think it's a strong number 4. I think there might be some, especially if you source these from my library. I think there's a chance that there's some real bangers in here.
Blue.
Yeah. There's also chances there's some duds. So next one is How Do You Sleep at Night? Tizo Touchdown. Also a really good album. I'm a little afraid that you just pick only good albums that I like. Who knows?
I don't know what I have in here.
I do want to give a little bit of room. Tizo's good. We went to the concert for Tizo. It was a great concert, fun time. I'm gonna give it a little bit of room though. Just if these are the first 2 I picked, I gotta imagine there's some other really good heat in there. I'm gonna go 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 6, which is not bad, right? This isn't a rating of a 6. It's just I want to make sure I want to leave some room for what might else be in the hat of mystery. All right, we got
The Hat of Mystery.
ooh 30 by Adele. Talk about banger album.
Is this your favorite Adele album? I didn't get a good sense of. I was just picking an Adele album.
Yeah.
I'm like, which one would you like more? Is this one that's not as good as 18? I don't know what you.
I think 21 is probably my favorite.
Okay.
I think it was the one with like the hello. It's me, right?
I have no idea.
Damn, now I'm blanking.
You're welcome to.
Her voice sounds like.
I can look up something if you want some. Because was it 30 by Adele?
Yeah, I know 30 is the Rolling in the Deep. I'm pretty sure. Actually, fuck, I have no idea.
30 Adele.
I have no
track
idea now that I
list.
think about it. Now that I actually think about it.
Yeah. They kind of do blend together. 30 had like Strangers by Nature, Cry Your Heart Out, Essay on Me, My Little Love. The cover looks like it's blue. It's like this.
Okay, that is the one I pictured, but that is not the track list I pictured. What's on 21?
21 Adele track list. Rolling the Deep.
Okay, yeah, that would be like top tier album for me. 30 by Adele, also good. I'm actually gonna put this lower than Tizo, but not by much. I'm gonna say 7.
All right.
I'm gonna say 7. Great album, but not Adele's best work. All right, next up we got Infinity on High by Fall Out Boy. This is a really cherished. I love this album. This is a really, really good album. It's like this, Fall Out Duel. There's a couple. I like all the early Fall Out Boy stuff. Infinity on High though, that's gotta be. Knowing you, I'm sure you have something in there. So I gotta save that number 1 spot. This is going number 2. I could put this album on right now and just have a great time, start to finish, sing along with it. One of the few albums I could probably sing along. I know. All right. Oh man, I'm nervous. Next one. Yep, and there it is, Blonde by Frank Ocean.
All right,
number 1. Glad we had to save that number 1 spot. Blonde is, I think it's got to be my favorite album of all time. So easy, bang, number 1.
I was hoping you'd fall into my trap and give your number 1 spot away to somebody else.
No,
I should have not put Blonde in there.
That would have been funny. Ooh, this is a Zag, the Metaphor Refantasio soundtrack. Man, you got a lot of good albums in here. So, and to be honest, Metaphor, it really is just the one track that I just love. The guy, the battle track hits. The rest of the album is good. But it really is just that one track that's great. I'm gonna still save a little bit of room. I'm gonna go 9.
All right.
Oh man. All right.
You know what I should have did actually? I should have put even more than 10 in there because since I'm just having it. Maybe next time we do it, I'll just have like a really big pile.
I can see that.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billy. Ooh. Is the
She's sitting on the bed and she has like the white eyes.
Oh yeah.
I can pull up the track list for you. Where Do We Go? Track list. I also don't have these on. It has like Bad Guy on there. Zanny. You Should See Me in a Crown. You know, All the Good Girls Go to Hell. Wish You Were Gay. When the Party's Over. 8. I think you know this album at this point. Bury a Friend.
I gotta go pretty high with this. I love Billie Eilish. I want to. There's not many concerts I would go to. I might go to a Billie Eilish
and
concert.
I think honestly, and we can give it a try, you know, maybe next time she has a tour, assuming that you like her next album as well, because she'll mostly be performing from the album she has. I saw clips of her performance and I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
Like she did this wild thing on tour where she had everyone go quiet and she live looped her own vocals.
Oh,
and
that's
it was
cool.
So good.
That's dope.
And she's like, I've never tried, you know, I'm sure maybe the first time. Or maybe she always says that for I've never done this before. But yeah, it was like really, really great. Yeah. Anyway, so we should probably go to see Billy. And honestly, when I saw Tyler, it wasn't that like, I mean, some people were rah, but like you're standing up at the thing. Like it's not that wild.
I feel like I might have put Tizo a little bit too high.
That's what I wanted you to feel.
Yeah.
I wanted you to feel pain and regret.
Definitely put Tizo a little too high. Nothing is bad. Just so many other good stuff. I want this where Gemini Rights is, but I can't put it there. So I have to choose, is it above Gemini Rights or below Gemini Rights? I'm gonna go above. I'd rather have something that I wish I could put higher than something high that I wish I could put lower. You know what I mean? Oh man, that was rough though. It's a good album. Then we got Get Rich or Die Trying by 50 Cent. Oh man, to be honest, this is a really good album. This is a banger. This is honestly probably one of the best debut albums. Like, Get Rich or Die Trying is insane how good it is. Every song on there bangs, hits.
You know what? We'll listen to it on the way to the game today.
Hell yeah, please. Yes, that sounds amazing.
Also,
God.
man, the coin drop.
Oh,
Ooh,
God.
yay.
It's so good. This is a good album. I gotta go
It's actually the
or-
sleeper sound to awaken all the millennials.
Yeah,
just like that.
yeah. 5 is the highest slot available, and this definitely deserves it. I'm really afraid for what you have because now I only have slots 8 and 10 open. I haven't gotten like a even
stinky?
bad album. Yeah, I haven't had a stinker yet, as you guys like to say. Next up, we got Guts by Olivia Rodrigo. I enjoy this album a lot. Now, I will say, it probably does deserve to be at that 8 slot. I don't feel too bad about putting it at the 8 slot, just given everything else on this list. 8's fine.
You're putting it at 8?
Yeah,
So
I'm
you're
putting it at
going-
8.
So it's above whatever comes next.
It's above whatever comes next, and I'm terrified.
All right.
Is why I feel like GNX.
Blonde 2.
Yeah.
There's only like one left. I think I just handed it to you. Now I think about it.
Good. Oh, the Debitari Photos?
Bad Bunny's most recent album.
Most recent album. Man, yeah, I wish this was higher.
Auto slot?
I gotta put this at 10. I think if I could slot this somewhere, it would be.
You can't, so you can't tell. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
It would probably be. I would bump it up 2 and put this in between 30 and Guts. I think 30 is probably still a better album. 30 is really good. Adele is really good.
Yeah, you
30,
really like Adele. And Adele is very talented. I never really
I guess 30
took
is
the time
technically
to check
probably
out.
better than 19 as far as like.
I wasn't sure where like you or fans in general rank. Like it's like, is it technically not as good as her old? You know, is she kind of almost in a Nas situation where like Nas is still putting out great work, but it's not as good as Illmatic? You know, I wasn't really sure.
I think a lot of artists put out their best work early on.
Yeah.
Adele, I think, falls victim of that, but I think it's like, I know he's canceled now, but Graduation, it's like Kanye had amazing albums after Graduation, but for some people, Graduation is still just the top. You know what I mean?
That's not, you know.
So
our canceled ranking, right? Yeah, we'll do a canceled episode, and we're like, let's really get into the separate the art from the artist. Oh my god,
that's good. Oh man, it's really good.
Yeah, at first I was regretting not putting some stinkers in there, but then I feel like the struggle of the good felt just as entertaining to me.
Yeah.
And also, I think I really got you on. I made you put Metaphor Fantasio above the Bad Bunny album, which I know there's no way that's a better album than the Bad Bunny album.
I thought you were gonna have some stinkers in there, which I should have known because if you sourced it from my library, I'm an album person.
I actually do think you had stuff that wouldn't rank very high, just like that Charlie album that you hate, kind of thing, stuff like that. Like because you just. But
I did think you might have put Brat in there or something like that. That's why I was like keeping that 10 slot open.
Yeah. Even though if Brat would show up, but no, it's kind of I think it worked. I'm glad how it worked out.
I like this. That was fun.
Okay, I am going back to back just for diversity of the topic's sake.
Yeah,
so
sure.
We have things you can do for fun. Sorry, I have like these. Actually, I won't even say anything else. You can just grab some stuff.
All right. First thing we're ranking is a hike. Ooh, a hike is good. I feel like you definitely probably have some stinkers in this list, so I need to be careful.
How can it be stinky if it's for fun?
Yeah, but you'll have like, I don't know,
do your taxes for fun or something?
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
I don't know, pet Bruce or something like that. It's like, oh, it's fun. But it's like, that's whack. What do you mean? Yeah, that's the
Why
wackest
Bruce
thing
catching
you
a stray?
do.
She's not even in the room.
I'm gonna go 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 7. I enjoy hiking. I like the outdoors. It's fun. It's active. But you do get hot. You get sweaty. You get tired.
The bugs are out there.
The bugs are out there.
You need bugs.
It could be rough. Next, we have amusement park. All right. I mean, this has got to be definitely like I'm saving the number 1 spot. I don't know what you got in this list. I'm gonna go number 2. If you told me we were doing an amusement park today, I'd be like, I'm cool with that. That sounds great. It sounds like a fun time. You could spring an amusement park day on me any day, and it's a good day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe we will.
Shopping. Okay, cool. Oh man, this is a double-edged sword.
You don't really like shopping.
I don't really like shopping, but I like getting things. it's the catch-22. I'm actually gonna put this pretty low. I'm gonna go 9.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 9. I think you might have something in here that's worse, but I don't enjoy shopping. Going to stores, tons of people, getting in lines, asking, "Oh, do you have the size 8 in the back? Could you bring it out for me?" I don't want to do any of that. But I like getting things. Next, we have a spa day. See, this is a great time. This is good. This is a fun time.
You don't really like the spa either.
I enjoy the spa. I don't go because it's usually very involved. But every time that I've gone and got like to me, this is like float tank territory, which I don't know if float tank is potentially in a different card or not, but I love the float tank. I'm gonna go 8. I'm gonna go 8. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I think the high I get from a hike is a little bit better than the relaxing I get from a spa. And so I'll put it there. I'm nervous because I'm leaving so many higher up slots open. A museum. Damn. Okay. I mean,
what
I
I
guess
love is Isaiah hates fun. I was writing these and I'm like, this man doesn't like any of these things.
Museum. Oh man, I know for sure concert is in here, so I can't put museum at 10. I gotta put it at 6. I gotta put it.
Why
at
you really
6.
hate concerts?
I do. I really don't like concerts, and I enjoy a museum. Like we went to the museum in Chicago.
We went to the Tizo concert.
We went to the Tizo concert. Also,
Which did you like the Tizo concert?
I did. It was definitely more. It wasn't a rah kind of concert. Yeah. You know what I mean? We were also.
I mean, it could be if you went up.
It could have been.
That's normally that's where I am. I'm over there, like.
But we were in the back. We were chilling, vibing out. It was a good time there. A sporting event. Sporting event is good. I probably should have put amusement park at 1. Sporting event is also really good. I'm gonna put sporting event at 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna put sporting event at 1. Again, I do think amusement park is better, and I regret not putting that higher now. But you know, this is where we are. Next up, the beach.
See, this one of them hate fun.
Beach is 10. Beach is 10. Beach is 10.
Talk to me about the beach.
I think so. For the record, it's not the beach itself that I dislike. You go to a nice hot sandy beach, Florida, California, one of the coastal, right? You can get some great beaches in there. You get your toes in the warm sand. That's all good. What I hate is when you're at the beach and you get all wet. You go swimming, you get in the water, and then you come out and now you just got sand sticking to you. You feel gross. Sand's getting all into your shorts and everything. Then you got to get in your car. You're bringing the sand all with you to the car. Even if you try to rinse off those like little outdoor shower things they have, you never really get it all. Your hair, you smell like the sea and the ocean and fish, and you just stank. It's just the beach without the water is one of my favorite places. As soon as you add the water and like water activities and getting in the water, it ruins it.
You don't have to go into the water though.
And I will happily do that. But until we actually go to a beach, I guess we did go to a beach one time
in Hawaii. We didn't go into the water.
Yeah,
that beach was really cool too because they had the black. It was the black sand. The black sand was lit. I like the black sand a lot.
But I think when you think beach, you think getting in the water. And so,
yeah.
For the sake of the list, it has to go last. Oh, we have a bar. Bars are fun. I'm not a big drinker, but I've grown to.
This man does not like fun.
I've grown to
this
enjoy.
Florida. Realize that doesn't like fun.
I've grown to enjoy going to a bar. Usually hanging out with friends. I get my Diet Coke, maybe a rum and Coke.
Yeah.
If I want to get a little schwazy.
This makes me sound bad, but I think I've warmed you up to the bar, which makes it sound like I'm a bar hound or something.
I guess I definitely like it more than the museum and less than the amusement park. But where in this gap? I only have 3, 4, and 5 left. So I guess this has got to be 5. Just because I think there are other I think you might have concert in there. Again, I still think there's a concert in here. I forgot about beach, man. I totally didn't even think about beach. Next, we have movie theater. Easy 3. Easy 3. I like the movies.
Yeah, that is you do like the movies.
I get my nachos. I get my jalapenos. I get my icy.
This is funny because this is exactly what I knew, how you react to all these. But at the same time, really seeing on paper how much you like movie theaters more than everything else, I'm like, we should be going to the movies more.
We should be going. If the movies weren't as expensive,
craves some
we
film.
would be going to the movies all all the time.
Maybe we should get back on that Stubbs and just start stubbing around.
I feel like we also need more movies to be coming out. Like, I don't think there's like really that many movies that have come out recently where it's like, oh, I definitely want to go see.
Also,
this.
too,
You know what I mean?
I gotta say, Stubbs, they're assholes over there. Like, if they weren't such jerks, where they're like, I think they have stuff like when you cancel it, you can't like get it back again
can't
for like
another
for like
year.
3 months or something, and then
stupid.
and then you can't like they just have like all these things that are unnecessarily petty.
Yeah.
Like, they basically just don't want you to sign up for a month and then use it for a month and then drop it.
Yeah.
But like,
okay,
right, like close then. Like, just like, I don't know. I just feel like they're petty. Maybe we could look at the. I know Cinemark. It's not nearly as nice as AMC.
Yeah.
I know they have their own like.
Like
Regal has their own,
now.
which also like Regal. It ain't nice. AMC is nicer, but like,
especially here.
Damn, like okay, like I don't know.
Yeah.
They got attitude. Oh, there's only one left. So.
Last thing. This is going in the number 4 spot. We have concert. Of course. Man. To be honest, if I could,
it's in your top 5 for things to do. So.
I could see an argument for this being actually a pretty good list. If I could move one thing, it would probably be I would move Hike up to after movie theater. Everything else I think could fall relatively in place.
Really, you'd put the concert above the bar.
No, but if I can only move one thing from
this
list, I'm fine going to a concert over a bar. If I had a choice, I'd rather do like a nice hike or something instead of concert or bar.
Okay, so I gotta get you outside more. We're gonna hike to the movie theater.
Yeah, we hike to the movie theater.
Don't worry, I'm gonna give you that dog's last day that you've been dreaming about. Oh, here, you can just put it back in here if you want. Same with the blue ones, and then the last category.
Last category that I'm bringing to you. Breakfast cereals.
I'm very excited about this. I think this is good.
I think I don't want to say too much.
Yes,
but
I worry about the stinky cereals you probably put in here.
Man, I'm so big back because I'm looking at all these lists. I'm like, I'd smash.
It's also funny because
I'd smash a bowl of all these cereals.
When we were like coming up with the categories and stuff, like at first you were like, oh, maybe chain restaurants, and you're like, I don't want 2 food ones.
Yeah, I thought about doing chips. And
chips was the other idea.
Categories, which we might revisit this. I think this is fun.
The chip one is iconic, but you're like, I don't want chips and cereal. I don't want food.
Yeah, I can't have just too many food items.
Let's go.
All right, first up, Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops, strong. I love Fruit Loops. Sometimes I feel like I like Fruit Loops just because does Fruit Loops. Do I want to put this even higher than 3? I was thinking 3, but now I'm like, they're pretty up. Also, I'm trying to think, what is my number 1 cereal? And is it Fruit Loops, actually? It's pretty high. Because I feel like other ones, they can hit for a mood. But I feel like if I could only one cereal, it might be Fruit Loops. Again, the fact that it's a sugary cereal might get a little repetitive. But it's the most enjoyable, repetitive sugar cereal to me. Is this my 1?
Fruit Loops are pretty tasty.
I
personally like Fruit Loops.
I'm putting Fruit Loops at 1, which sounds like radical, but I just can't imagine. There's other cereals I really like, and there's other cereals that might be more exciting than Fruit Loops. But I think the truth is, if I can only eat one cereal at this moment, 30-something years old, I would go with Fruit Loops. Let's continue.
Next up, we got Trix.
Bro, I do not fuck with these Trix.
No,
and I know what you're thinking. These are just Fruit Loops, bitch. What are you talking about? Yeah, let me look at a box of Trix and really think about them. Yeah, they're like the rabbit. Yeah, I know. He's this fuck ass rabbit talking about. Oh, silly rabbit! Like, shut up. He playing all these games. I don't like people playing games in my cereal. Straight up, I'm not even joking, Isaiah. I don't know if I've ever eaten a bowl of Trix.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm sure. I guess I have because I think you've gotten
all
some.
Of these, but I guess it's a chance you didn't.
At the same time, they really are just kind of like a different Fruit Loop. So like, I'm kind of hating on
They're
Trix
more
harder
fruity than Fruit Loops, I would even argue. Like, I think the smell of Trix is way stronger than the smell of Fruit Loops.
It's kind of doing too much though for that reason, But then you also like kind of give it away with it saying that you'd smash all the cereal. So I feel like you didn't put a Wheaties in here, but maybe you said that to throw me off. Like, I don't know.
I might like Wheaties. You know.
I'm gonna put your ass would like Wheaties. Fucking nasty stuff. I'm gonna put Trix at 7.
I got some Special K in the kitchen right now.
Oh my god, that's true. Wait.
I fuck with healthy cereal, so that's not a good indicator of anything.
We're putting Trix at 8. I don't really want Trix.
All right, Trix at 8. Number 3 or third one up, we got Apple Jacks.
I fucking don't like Apple Jacks.
What? You don't like Apple Jacks?
Nah, they're nasty.
That's crazy.
They're nasty.
The little cinnamon.
They taste like
so good.
the texture. It feels diseased to me of a cereal. They got those bumps on them.
Man, talk about the best post cereal milk. Apple Jacks.
Oh my god, no!
That
I'm putting Apple Jacks
cinnamony
10.
milk. Oh, it's so good.
Actually, I hate that Special K though. Sorry, I'm putting Apple Jacks at 9 because I think there's worse than Apple Jacks, but I do not want to eat Apple Jacks. I do not want to eat Apple Jacks.
Next up, we got Cocoa Puffs.
I like Cocoa Puffs a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cocoa Puffs might be a number 2, but let me just think about it a little bit more. Yeah, like I think they got also good post cereal milk. Though I've never needed to drink the whole thing of milk for the cereal. I think Fruit Loops has really good post cereal milk though. It's like strawberry tasting.
It's good. I feel like there's not enough because so much of the flavor of Fruit Loops is baked into like the cereal. I feel like it doesn't get into milk like that.
That's kind of what I like about it. It's not like it's not overwhelming. Yeah, I think Cocoa Puffs. I think they're number 2.
Wow. Okay.
I really like my Cocoa Puffs.
All right, so we're at the ends. We're at the top and we're at the bottom.
Yeah.
Wonder where this one will go. Next up, we have Raisin Bran.
Is that one make that a 10? Raisin Bran's really nasty. I'm putting that in 10, even though like you could give me that Special K or whatever, but Special K, at least it has a chance. Raisin Bran, it's a game of don't eat the raisins. I don't want to play that. And also, to be honest, in Special K's defense, I don't know the last time I tasted. I don't know if I ever really even tasted Special K. Maybe I'm just judging from outside the club. My mom would eat Special K, and I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that.
I like it.
I just feel like, why we gotta turn everything into a diet? Can't we have something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Special K on principle. Fucking anti-body positivity ass cereal, bro. Like fucking what is it called? Brandy Melville ass cereal, man. Like I don't like how Special K is like, really, you're eating that? Don't you? Swimsuit season? Like I feel like Special K is a cereal that calls me fat. I'm not even fat at all. It's like I just feel like, oh, like you're eating that. Oh my god, I'm back to size high as 00. They don't make enough. Special K would be like, they don't make enough 00 sizes. You know, when we talk about size inclusivity. Shut up, Special K. Go ahead. What do you got? I bet you Special K on this list because you're the type.
Who knows?
Okay.
Next up, we got Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I gotta like refresh my mind on Cinnamon Toast Crunch. This is another one I didn't really eat almost ever. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I know what it looks like, but I want to like have the visual right in front of me.
Squares, cinnamon
Yeah,
swirls.
it's cool.
On it.
It's cool. I'm not mad at Cinnamon Toast Crunch. If like I was at someone's house and they're like, well, we're gonna eat cereal today. Hey, all we got is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Is that okay? Oh yeah, like that's fine. Kind of even enjoyable to a degree, but it's not like my favorite. There's ones I like more. I'm putting that at 6. I can't. That's how you find out I can't spell cinnamon. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cinnamon. I never know how many mons are in there. Cinnamon. There's 2 N's. It's got a and then Google late with the correction too. Okay, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yeah, number 6. It's like there's other cereals that I'm hoping are on this list that I definitely would like more than Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But if we had Cinnamon Toast Crunch in the house, it's one of those things where I wouldn't be eating it. It'd be a you cereal. But at one point I'd say, you know what? I'm going to take some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like when I catch a vibe, but that's going to be rare.
Okay. Next up, we got Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms is another one where Lucky Charms, it has that them nasty marshmallows in it. Lucky Charms.
You don't like them?
I don't like the nasty.
I guess I'm not upset that you don't like those marshmallows because I can understand it.
This one, you have this in the house. I'm never eating this.
Really?
I'm never eating this. So we're gonna, for that reason, we kind of have to put it at. The thing is, I feel like you got a stinker, but I'm just gonna have to go with. I don't want to be predicting or whatever. I know I might take an L on this list. I'm gonna put Lucky Charms below the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, even though again, if you have a Special K or something in here. I might save that 5 slot just for if you were going to give me a stinker. I might say 5 for that. But yeah, Lucky Charms. And I think right now what I like about this list is 7 down. I'm not eating these. Lucky Charms, Trix, Apple Jacks, Raisin Bran. I don't want any of these.
That's crazy.
Now there's a chance that something in that tier is going to appear still. But I don't know. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Next up, we got Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles, especially with what you've been giving out, that's a better one. Fruity Pebbles, I also didn't eat very much. Here's the thing. One might be wondering, why have you not eaten enough of these cereals? Couple of reasons. I have the cereals I like. I don't need to venture off. 2, grew up in one of those households where they were you open one box, that's all you can have. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not put it past my parents. I don't remember if it's like you have to eat this whole box before you get even a more
open it.
box. Yeah, no, because that was the rule. So
Yeah.
like I cannot imagine, you know, the are you fucking kidding me vibe of like if I got a box of Fruity Pebbles, asked for it, and then didn't like it and said, I don't like the cereal. You think they're throwing that cereal away? First of all, why are you telling me you don't like the cereal? Like, it's like the disrespect. So I think that's another reason we probably weren't rolling the dice on cereal very much. Now, sometimes I did get to taste some other cereals because my dad would sometimes buy a cereal variety pack. So you know how the chips have those? The cereals also have those, the mini boxes.
Yeah,
And that's how I
remember
encountered
that.
things like Apple Jacks. And I said, we don't need to come back to this ever again.
crazy.
And then decades passed and we did this podcast together.
It's still wild.
Fruity Pebbles, though, I actually low-key rock with these because I don't know if it's on the list, but I definitely had a Rice Krispies era for cereals where I like that. It's like when they get all soggy, it's like kind of a different kind of good. It's like it's also kind of nasty, but I kind of like how it's nasty. So I'm gonna put that at 4 out of fear for what you have next. So yeah, 4 Fruity Pebbles. This is another. I wouldn't pick it, but if it was in the house, I probably would hit it up at some point.
Okay, all right. I like the old Fruity Pebbles. If you tried Fruity Pebbles now, they changed the formula. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit different. Still Fruity Pebbles, but it is different. It's not that
they're fun. But
Fruity
Fruity Pebbles is also a cereal where when you eat it, you're racing against the clock. The second the milk hits that bowl.
You have to go,
you have to go to the bathroom.
You're already late.
Hold it, because this. And I don't believe in that, like gaming the cereal system of the milk in a separate thing or a special cereal spoon.
Nah.
I feel like just live your life.
Yeah.
Like life has good and life has bad. Accept it. Like I feel like these are people that don't want to accept the bad elements of life.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like that.
Next up, we have Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes. This was a big one in my household. I wasn't hitting it up. I feel like my dad or my brother was a big Frosted Flakes person. I definitely ate a lot of Frosted Flakes growing up. I'm putting that at I worry that you gave me something bad. But I'm holding out the hope that Cheerios is in here. So I'm putting Frosted Flakes below Fruity Pebbles. And I think that is how I'd buy them in the store. I think if you said, hey, do you mind? I mean, again, they're all owned by the same company, so this probably wouldn't happen. But if you said, hey, they have cereal on sale. Are you cool getting Fruity Pebbles or Frosted Flakes? I'll probably take the Fruity Pebbles or the Frosted Flakes. But the Frosted Flakes are cool. Very rigid cereal, really holds up against the milk, but also kind of too rigid. You be cutting your mouth on them Frosted Flakes.
To a degree,
they're frosted shards is what they are. They are sharp.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got for number 3 slot?
And number 3 slot, your favorite, Cheerios.
Cheerios.
Yeah, you got the Cheerios.
Yeah, I love Cheerios. Just plain
Regular Cheerios,
regular
too, which is so
Cheerios,
weird.
baby on a high chair.
So gross.
People think, if you have to be 1 or 100 to be eating plain Cheerios, but I am the in between, baby. Yeah, they're good for you, and they're just plain regular neutral cereal. You know, I like them. They're good. You can slice up the little banana in there. You can slice up the little strawberry in there.
Good.
It's a good healthy cereal, and that's why I'm like, why are we going to Special K? Why are we going to fucking Wheaties? We have a good healthy cereal, and it's Cheerios. What motherfuckers coming out with a Magic Spoon brand? Like, what do we do? Cheerios. Eat the Cheerios.
We
if you
figured
want
this out already.
Yeah, we already have the answer. And frankly, I do think they taste good. They're a little like plain tasting.
They're very plain. They
don't taste like
nothing.
anything. But they're like, you know what else doesn't taste like anything? Rice. And rice is good. Plain white rice. And I know there's like better rices, like flavored rice is better, Puerto Rican rice, flavored rice. Other ethnicities' rices. Yes, probably a better rice. But I'll take a plain white rice and I'll take a Cheerios.
Okay.
It got me through and it will continue to get me through.
All
The
right.
world is ending. Let's stock up on the Cheerios and the white rice bags.
Just make sure you get a box of Honey Nut Cheerios for me, and I'll
Sure.
be there
And I'll
with
eat the
you.
honey nut, but I'm like, I don't like honey also very much.
That's crazy.
So I don't like honey by accident. I'll drink something and I'm like, you put honey in this, didn't you? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, it's pretty good. Like, but I'm not seeking out honey.
Yeah.
All things considered, so the ranking, we probably should have read these for all of these looking back. But I got,
yeah, sure.
well, actually, do you want to do that now? We can just go just to recap the segment. All right, let's start at, I kicked things off with my places. Number 1, Disney World. Number 2, the dentist office. Number 3, Mall of America. 4, a child's music recital. 5, car show. 6, Black People Church. 7, Shiva's training session. 8, Olive Garden. 9, airport gift shop. And 10, white people church for my places ranked.
Again, the dentist is the outlier, but that track.
Yeah.
For me, I have albums. And this is very heavily skewed towards just my library, but we have number 1, Blonde by Frank Ocean. Number 2, Infinity on High by Fall Out Boy. Number 3, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish. Number 4, Gemini Rights by Steve Lacy. Number 5, Get Rich or Die Trying by 50 Cent. Number 6, How Do You Sleep at Night by Tizo Touchdown. Number 7, 30 by Adele. Number 8, Guts by Olivia Rodrigo. Number 9, The Metaphor Refantasio soundtrack. And number 10, the latest Bad Bunny album. I'm not
can
even
you
trying
repeat
to
the title?
De Beer Terrer Mas Photos. Bad Bunny.
I just got hate crime on my own podcast. Yeah, no, actually, it was pretty good. Didad. Tirar. No, it's I. Didad. Tirar. You know, if you anyway. De Beer Terrer Mas Photos. My Spanish isn't great, but it is. It's there a little bit. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this is also you.
Yeah, and then as far as fun activities I want to do, we got number 1, a sporting event. That's fine. Great. Number 2, amusement park. Number 3, movie theater. Number 4, a concert. Number 5, the bar. Number 6, a museum. Number 7, a hike. Number 8, a spa day. Number 9, shopping. Number 10, the beach.
Me and my cereals. Cereal girl. Number 1, Fruit Loops. 2, Cocoa Puffs. 3, Cheerios. 4, Fruity Pebbles. 5, Frosted Flakes. 6, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. 7, Lucky Charms. 8, Trix. 9, Apple Jacks. 10, Raisin Bran. Actually, looking back on this, the cereal one specifically, it is actually very close to what I would rank them if you gave me the list. I think the only difference is I would probably put Trix above Lucky Charms. And then after that, I think this is actually just my ranking. I guess there's a chance I put Cinnamon Toast Crunch above Frosted Flakes. Because again, the flakes are so sharp that it's a little much. But I do think they
also go quick. It's weird. They somehow are incredibly sharp, but then also get incredibly soggy.
Yeah, I think the Toasties might be better. But also like the flavor. The thing is like the cinnamon is so dominant. I don't like fruit. I don't like cereals that are too dominant, with the exception of I think Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, so not too bad. I'm glad I stuck to my gut and put that Raisin Bran at 10 because I'm like, ugh, it's nasty. And that Apple Jacks, I really hate Apple Jacks.
Crazy to me.
I really fucking
Get
can't
in the comments because there's
I can't stand Apple Jacks. Apple haters come to the front.
It is insane to hate Apple Jacks.
I don't really like apple as a flavoring because like it's funny. I went with
but it's like cinnamon apple. It's different.
I don't like cinnamon
just a
that
healthy,
heavy.
You're not biting into a Granny Smith apple. It's a cinnamon.
I don't like cinnamon that much. I don't like apples, but I don't like apple flavor. It's got like a nasty quality to it. Like those apple pie, McDonald's apple pie. Apple pies, yuck. No, don't like it. And that brings us to poll of the show. As always, the poll of the show is at gamesandnotgames.com/poll. Last week, we asked a bunch of stuff in relation to your gaming setup and also budgeting. So that was our games and our not games poll division. For games, we asked, where are you gaming? Most people, they're in the living room, 70% living room.
Yeah.
20% bedroom, 20% home office.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the way the poll was set up is kind of like a click all that are applicable. So it seems like most gaming is done in the living room, which I thought was probably going to be the case, but I don't know. Then we got where are you sitting? A lot of people just sitting on couches, couches, sofas, however you want to call it. A couple people in like gaming office chairs, which would make sense if you're in the office. Yeah, like a home office or like you're in a dorm setting or something like that. Totally makes sense.
And we also had the 10%, a recliner and a bed. The recliner is very old school. I think the recliner is like, it's an old, you want a recliner? I feel like
it's kind of like Lux though.
It is, but like, is this in shade of the recliner? But you don't see the recliner. The recliner is like an era in time where people had houses and you could have a recliner. The idea of putting a recliner in our apartment, it's gonna when you lay that thing back, it takes up half of the living room.
I'm jealous of that person. Whoever that person came through.
What are you looking at?
Yeah,
most people the TV.
Most people just viewing TVs. I expected to see some projectors.
I was expecting to see a projector in there.
It's a little bit surprising. I guess gaming. I mean, if you have a home theater, you're probably doing a projector. But this is a gaming focused.
Some people just don't have a TV though, and they all do everything on the projector, which like
that's crazy.
I hate that. And the projectors.
I mean, I did that, and that's crazy.
And the people who do that, I gotta be honest with you, the projector is never a good quality projector.
It's always fine. I'm gonna pull out a storage.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Is it good enough to like not have a TV?
No. I mean, it was for me when I moved here.
I think most projectors are in that vein of like, it's not quite, Did you have a sheet though for it, or you just put it on the wall?
That
was the other thing. These people never have a sheet.
I did have a sheet. I had a screen. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But it was like a pin screen, not like a sturdy one. Like it was sturdy if you stretched it and pinned it, enough to give it like some rigidity. But like every so often, it still was a little like flappy. So like I'd be watching something and then her face would be all flapping if I had like a fan on or something.
Oh my God. See, this is the stuff that like it's hard to make it where it's ideal.
The struggles.
What are people's gaming equipment looks like? Like what's the breakdown of that?
We got most people are using like media or entertainment stands, followed closely by just having their stuff on a desk. Totally makes sense. Again, especially if you're like a PC gamer, you're probably on a desk anyways, right? But we got a little bit of wall mounted, a little bit of dresser action, again, hitting that dorm life. I love it.
Back in the day when I grew up, that's how we had Bewters, which are like the cabinety dressers. Mm-hmm. And the TV was up there on top of it. So the TV was
so high.
Was so high.
Craning your neck to go.
But I did most of my gaming standing up. And also wasn't very tall, so still high.
Yeah, so you're still...
I'm like not that much higher than I was when I was sitting down,
You're just taking L's from either way.
Yeah. What are people hearing their gaming on?
Yeah, finally, how are people listening? Most people just built-in speakers. If it's presumably, again, TV. Some people have headphones and sound bars. It's pretty nice. Not many people. The lowest is like a full surround sound system.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet these are the same people with that recliner chair. They just got it. They got that setup. You know what I mean?
Rob, are you listening to the show? Rob Zachary? Come to the front. Actually, I just remembered that triggered a memory for me. My dad had surround sound. I forgot if it was in our living room or if it was just in the basement, but he set up the I don't know how good it was. He wasn't exactly, no shade to him, but he wasn't exactly like an audiophile. Like I don't think he was like, he was on Reddit or anything like that, looking into stuff.
Your dad on Reddit would send me.
But he, it's also back in the day, so I don't even know if Reddit was a thing at the time. But he had like the two speakers on each side, and he had like a whole, again, like full man cave entertainment vibes and stuff in there. So, he had a nice little set. Again, the only thing I don't love about California, and I get it because of the earthquakes, I miss basement culture. Like I want a basement so bad.
Basement culture is pretty.
And
clutch.
like I do think we'll be able to reclaim some of that culture if we can get an attic, like a proper attic, and that would be fun. Mm-hmm. Just haunted vibes up there and stuff. But we'll see what we can spin up. For the Not Games, we asked about budgeting. Can you walk us through the budget data we got?
Yeah. So we asked very simple. Do you budget? Yes. 50% yes, which is honestly surprising. And then the other 50%. Effectively no. There's 10% is no and I don't want to or need to. Another 10% or 30% is no but I want to. So we have people who want to be better. They want to budget, they want to get better with their money. Hopefully this is the episode was enough to spur them to try it out. And then someone wrote in with my wife is good at this, thankfully. I am not.
Yeah. That's also like very valid and cool to you just have that kind of set up. I mean, we largely do that for like most tasks in the house. We talked about that like many episodes ago. The division of like skill/interest on things that need to get done. I will say probably maybe at least being ready to knowing a little bit about what your wife does though. I think would be key. Because God forbid something happened where you need to do that yourself and you're like, oh my God, like I don't know how to do any of this. But yeah, nothing wrong with delegating that to someone who has a passion for it, and is good at it. All right. If yes, how are people budgeting, Isaiah?
So we have about half who are just keeping track in their head, which
that sounds like hell.
Hey man, we've all been there. Sometimes you just gotta be like, I know I got this much, and I spent about this much on food, this much on fine.
No,
keep it going. It's better than nothing than just let's swipe the card and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Next up, we have about 30% using pen and paper. Makes sense, right? That's probably the second easiest way to do things. I was surprised by no people using digital apps. At least like in a dedicated digital app, like a Mint or a YNAB or whatever, right? But then we had a couple people. We had an even breakdown between spreadsheet. Someone wrote in about how they sort of just track their own budget like once a year, and then they come back the next year and just kind of like adjust their habits to meet their financial needs and goals.
Yeah.
And then someone else also said like, oh yeah, like we're just doing it in Excel. Where we're calculating things. They're trying to save for our house, so they are really into those like cells and the Excel math and algorithms and functions you can write, and just like really seeing how things go up and down, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Which I feel like I think for the most part, people that are really good at that stuff, that's why they're like, why would I like pay for a tool that's less customizable than something that is, in Excel with like the not coding, but the equations kind of in there, where they're just like, the sheet tells me what I'm doing. And it adjusts based on, I just type in a thing.
Yep.
They're out there literally crunching the numbers, like I run through a program, so can you just do it? Crunch. It's the same. All right, what else we got here?
Then we do optional write-ins, which these are really fun.
Yeah. We have this show has inspired me to start running again. It helps that it's finally spring.
Yeah.
Yay, no better time.
Yeah.
Take to the trails. We have no TV in bedroom and no food in bed are the rules I live by. That's also our rules in our household.
Yeah.
Some exceptions, like I can get away with eating a fruit roll up in bed.
Nothing crummy in the bed.
Yeah.
Nothing crummy or chippy.
Yeah.
Like none of that. That's too much.
And then I think I would have a panic attack if I found crumbs in the bed. This is one of my favorite things that I've discovered from if we stay at a hotel and if there's two beds. Because then like one bed is where we like eat our food
bed,
in. Yeah, the snack bed.
One is the kitchen
bed
bed
just for snacking. Yes, the kitchen bed. Yes. Which you kind of have to in a hotel because there's those desks, those sad desks they have. You can't really eat not in a bed at a hotel.
Yeah. If they gave you tables, you have the option, but
sometimes they do. But even then, the table's kind of weird. Yeah. Like usually, I'm usually in my bed because I'm in a dorm, and my one university provided chair holds all my textbooks. Okay, I can't put it on my desk because my TV and consoles take up all the desk space.
That makes sense.
Yeah, those desks don't have a lot of space. Are y'all using YNAB together? ? I set it up for my partner and I, but we haven't really gone all in the free trial is about to end. You're so real for that.
Fags.
I'm planning on sticking with it, but I was curious if you treat it like a solo app and just budget it on your own, maybe some pros and cons for why you do it in your current way.
Yeah, I know someone else, maybe this is the same person, I have no idea. Someone wrote in and left a comment on the YouTube version of the episode about like, if you do it, like how would you use YNAB with a partner? Where I ultimately landed is you kind of have two options. You have the option like we have, where we have our own finances. Like I have my bank accounts, you have your bank accounts. If there's a need for someone to share something like a purchase we make or something like that, we just send money to the other person, but we're budgeting kind of our own money and accounts. With YNAB, the way it works is with one YNAB account, you can have multiple budgets. So like if we really wanted to, for whatever reason, we could go down to like one login.
Yeah.
And there's the Isaiah budget and the Janet budget.
Can I attach bank accounts to like,
yes.
Like could I? Okay.
Yes, so I could have separate.
So basically the cheapest way for us to each have our own budget would be you have like one account.
One login.
Yes.
With
that we share.
Two budgets that we share. Because it's me, Janet, it's Janet's brother. I said there's a couple people. We just did the YNAB family plan, so like everyone has their own login, but it's just like one payment comes out. Like I just manage the one payment that comes out, and this just gives everyone their own login, their own budget, and you can still do your own budgets even if you have your own. Like just in YNAB, you can just have multiple budgets. The other option is kind of doing something like that, where maybe you have a personal budget if you need it for, I'd have my personal budget, Janet would have her personal budget, but then if we had like a shared bank account, maybe there's a third budget that's shared, and like that shared checking account or whatever, shared checking credit card is hooked up to that shared budget. That's where, rent or mortgage would come from. That's where grocery would come out of. And then in our personal budgets, we'd have just like, my gaming and Janet's clothes, or, those like more personal categories would fall into those. Which
one day I could see us doing something like that. I think in a world where we have a little bit more complexity going on, like not literally only if we had a kid, but I think like I could see a kid really adding to the need for, let's make us like a unified area where we now put all our household stuff in there. We put all our, hopefully Bruce is still kicking around, walking around. Bruce is in there, kid stuff's in there. There's like mortgage, house repair, we kind of have more going on. But like at our scale of life, I feel like it makes sense just to have, we have our only really inherently shared stuff, because obviously you could argue, oh, go to the Galaxy game, if you eat the hot dog, is that shared, whatever, right? The only inherently shared thing we have is the utilities, which I'm throw internet and in with that, rent, the cat, groceries.
Yeah,
I would say are the only like inherently shared. Again, on technical level, if we go to the movies, you could say, oh, maybe that's shit, like I guess. But yeah, I guess the pros to combining finances, I think are, I think sharing like a financial vision together directly, additional accountability between partners, so you're kind of in the know of stuff. And I think ease of certain things, like the way we do it now is at the end, largely at the end of the month, sometimes during the month, depending on what it is. If it's like a surprise cost or something, largely at the end of the month, we just request the money. So we have things that we're each in charge of. Like Isaiah's in charge of the rent. He pays the rent. Frankly, this is kind of embarrassing. I don't know how I would. If you like exploded or something, right? And I was living here,
sure
I guess I'd try to text the landlord and say like, hey, where do I put this? But I don't actually like, I'm like, I don't pay rent. Now I do pay towards rent, but I just don't do it directly, right? Like at the end of the month, you'll say, hey, this is your part of rent. This is your, the internet. It's like 50 some bucks or whatever. It's like always the same. And I think those are in groceries. Because you go out and do our groceries, so you're swiping your card, you're like keeping track of that in the Wine app, and you divide it at the end of the month or whatever. I have my, I do like the utilities, so the gas and the whatever, and I do like the brew stuff largely, and then that's what I request at the end. That's what we do. And that's been pretty simple. The pros of that are we get to have like our, I don't know, just own. We don't have to check in or watch out for like financially stepping on each other's toes as much. So, which again, we do so much stuff together. I don't really think we'd have that problem if it was combined, but it's just a little bit smoother in that way. I think also like we keep our individual problems separate. And that's not to say that like, I don't know, if you needed money, I'm not like, well, not my budget,
Yeah.
But stuff like, for instance, like I know for me, I do sometimes have like some overcharge categories that I carry for a while because of the way I get paid at work, while like, well, you're kind of more in a freelance bit, but before you weren't and stuff like that, we just kind of different things going on. You also have like just other stuff going on with like your finances, having the car and things like that. So it's like just less teamwork means there's less like having to go and check in or ask about that or look into stuff or whatever. And I think other pros, I do think, not spicy take. I'm a firm believer of you should have at least like some money that is like just yours to yourself, like inaccessible. I know some people might think that that's not agree with that. And I think there's totally validity in saying, no, this is my partner. I need your bank login. You need my bank login and all of that. But frankly, things can happen to anybody. So I don't think it's just like a woman thing. But I think it's good to have some of your own money.
Yeah. Even if for the other partner, it's like, if I want to get you a gift or something, I want to be able to do that without you.
That's a much lighter actually take, where I'm like, if your husband comes to kill you at night, you got to have a way to escape. But genuinely, you don't know what the future, like there are people, and I know it's really sad and it's really dark, but like, many people who end up in abusive situations,
financial abuse is a thing.
They never thought that would happen with how they, we all trust like our partners. So, being real for a second, I think that's also another reason that you should have it. And yes, the lighter reason of surprising someone with a gift or purchase is also, that's a much cheerier way. You're like, I want to buy you a present. And I'm like, if you one day turn into the guy from The Shining, I can escape in my thing. But yeah, and I also think on, again, if you share information, I guess it's fine, but just, I don't know, kind of nice to have different stuff in different places. Like maybe someone has more, so I don't know, whatever. I like having them separate for now. I think I'd always have some element of separation. But that being said, like we both know pretty much each other's finances. Like I can ask Isaiah any questions anytime, and him vice versa. We often like anecdotally share financial information of like, hey, I just got this in, or I finally got paid for that. Like just as part of our life. So those would be the pros and the cons. But yeah, whatever works for you. I like the family plan setup a lot.
I would say for sure the day that we open up a joint checking account for like housing things, that would be the day that we set up a shared like, housing budget in YNAB. And then the rent categories and our individuals would probably go away. And instead we would just create a rent one in the shared, and that, how we are depositing money or transferring money, whatever, blah, 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 that might change. But like wherever the accounts are, that is like where if it's my account, it's in my budget. If it's a shared account, it's in the shared budget kind of thing.
I think the last thing I want to say on this, because we've already gone like a bit longer, which it kind of makes me realize that like
maybe there's stuff we didn't talk about.
There's a lot more to talk about that could be fun. But one thing I want to point out, and again, you can do things how they work for you, how they make sense. Obviously, when you're in a romantic relationship, there's a like romantic level to like the finance in a way where it's like, you know, it's funny. We had this very early on where you're like, oh, I bought a pack of gum, and you said you want me to pay you for the gum. I said, absolutely not. I don't want that. That's like not a good fit. And different people are different ways with money, but I treat money with my friends differently than I treat it with you.
Sure.
And I do think to a degree, I would recommend that for people. I think you should have a different vibe with like a partner or a loved one, like just the same way you have different, like I'm different at work than I am with friends, you know, that kind of thing. But to clarify something with like us going outside to like the Galaxy game, someone eating a hot dog kind of thing. It's like, well, who pays for the hot dog? What happens? It depends on like what category we conceptualize it as. Like I know I have like a like I've made an additional like sports kind of thing, but I also have fun money. And when it comes to like dates and stuff too, sometimes one of us will just cover for the other person because it just makes sense to like we typically when we're doing a transaction like that, it's one transaction unless like maybe I'm getting a beer and Isaiah's not getting a beer. I'll probably just buy that beer myself, quote unquote, unless maybe like, I don't know, we both set aside like blank amount of money for it. So it just kind of, it's based on that way. So like, we do this a lot for dining out, like for fun, where I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm in the mood for Raising Cane's. And you'll say, you got any dining out money for Raising? And sometimes I'm like, I do have some. Or a lot of times, I'll be honest, I don't got anything. And you'll be like, let me see what I have. And if you have the money budgeted, you'll say, well, I have this budget. And then it's kind of like a decision on like, okay, well, do we want to pull the trigger on like spending our food money now together? But like, I guess just to clarify, and if this is your experience, it's not necessarily bad, but whatever, but like, it's not like you're not going to get Raising Cane's and it's just you. And I'm just like hungry. Like, you know, we're figuring like we're together and it's like, well, you didn't have your money. So like, oh, you're hungry at the stadium? Should have budgeted better. While like, it wouldn't be unusual for maybe you're out with a friend and they're like, I don't really get, but also same deal. Maybe you spot them because you like to do, you know, it's all about, it's personal, what's personal to you and what makes sense for you. But it's definitely not, just because we have individual budgets doesn't mean it's like a fend for yourself thing.
Yes. It's still together.
Yeah, we have like goal, and you know, and I have like my like for dates, like I have like a money goal. I'm like, oh, well, I have some money for dates. And when we go out like to a coffee shop, pretty cheap date, I'm like, hey, I have some money. I'm gonna spend my money on this until I'm maybe out of it. And then when I'm out of it, you probably have some money for it. And then you know, and we'll kind of like do stuff that way. But yeah, it's not like I'm eating a hot dog at Dignity Health Park and Isaiah didn't budget enough, you know? I'm probably getting a hot dog today, to be honest.
Bring money? Ooh.
Oh, what? You make less than me? Sucks to suck. Like, you know? So, and I can see for some people, maybe they just want to cut out the middleman. They don't want to have to think about that at all and say, we have 80 hot dog dollars and there's nothing else to think about. But, you know, we do a little bit of that extra work on our end, I suppose. But yeah, it seems like there might be more to talk about on that. So, you know, always
maybe a topic for another episode.
We'll on that note, again, reminder, the poll, gamesandnotgames.com/poll. And this week's poll is going to be, again, they're always based on the show. We have a games thing and a not games thing. The games thing is a simple, what are you playing? The not games thing is you ranking these cereals. You have the ability to rank them wherever, because Isaiah is aghast.
I can't understand how you put Apple Jacks so low. That's crazy. Apple Jacks is a top tier cereal.
It's gross, and I don't like the bumps on the on
You're
the
not
loops.
tasting the bumps. You're tasting the cinnamon.
That's not sweet. The deal. They're all bumpy. They look diseased. It looks like alien cereal. You know, sorry if that's offensive to all the aliens in outer space out there.
You eat oyster.
Yeah, but
that's such a worse mouthfeel food.
I know, but you saying oysters are nasty, I understand. You can't understand why the Apple Jacks are nasty, and that's why I'm a better person than you. I'm more open-minded. I'm more adventurous.
Well, let us know. We'll see. We'll have the people rank.
Yeah,
we'll see where the Apple Jacks fall.
So do that, but that's it for this week. You know, I just alluded to the fact that I'm like, oh, maybe there's more in the finances that we could talk about. And on that note, you can send us your questions and topics to email inbox@gamesandnotgames.com. So yeah, maybe we get some more financial. We can bundle them together and make a nice
that'd be cool.
Little overflow. But yeah, we'd love to hear what you guys want to talk about, because much like that last question, I didn't really think to go into like super detail on that. It just didn't come up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's like a fun, interesting angle for it. So remember, you can follow the podcast version of the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. If you enjoy the show, be sure to give us that 5-star rating.
5 stars.
Cinco Diamantes.
And if you're an audio listener, remember that you can get the video version over on YouTube at Games and Not Games. If you like the video version, be sure to leave a comment and give it a like, as it helps us get the show in front of more people. You can also follow us on social media. We are pretty much everywhere at Games and Not Games, mostly BlueSKy, Twitch, etc.
Which we did stream on Twitch.
Which we did,
again.
yeah, okay. So
we streamed again.
We streamed again. It was fun. We had another live reaction, which was really cool.
Yeah, Triple I Initiative. VOD on YouTube if you want to check it out there.
Yeah, find some indies. Love indies. Until next time, gang.
Gang.
Peace.